All right, welcome to another episode of the Saga of Stonegate, where our intrepid adventurers are once again trying to save the world. And we're going to do introductions all around the table very quickly, starting with...
Jody, who plays Satra. I'm an artificer and a baker and a candlestick maker. Not really, but yeah. Anyway, I'm excited because I'm branching off into new and different culinary delights.
I am Larissa. I am playing Arlen Cadmus, the Genasi sorcerer, and she is very excited about finding this civilization of people who apparently came from a different dimension.
Hi, I'm Tim, and I'm playing the halfling Holt Arden, who is a druid, and I'm really excited to explore the dark underbelly of the world.
I'm Kylie, playing Avrael Arcath, and I'm a rogue paladin, looking forward to discovering new poisons.
I'm Chuck. I play Elias Blaze, the Satyr Bard, and he's not really excited about anything. He's just chilling out. He's playing his lute and trying to make some money and hopefully not die.
I'm Trevor, playing Jethro the Goliath Barbarian, eager to help the Marble people, and just maybe they'll help us too.
And I'm Mike the GM, and yes, this is our next episode. So we got our group to the city of Sununu, where it is basically a group of people called the Imaskari that live here. They're from an alternate dimensions. They had to flee there thousands of years ago. They met a proprietor at the local inn, the Golden Tankard, named Elena, and currently they are standing in the open double doors of the Alchemists Guild and have been told, don't come inside. There's experiments going on by one of the alchemist's apprentice. So, okay, you've been told not to come inside. What are you going to do? Go right in, right? Of course.
Well, that's basically an invitation. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, okay, you go walking straight in. No. Around the room, you see that there are several tables with young men and women standing at them. Most of them seem to be the Imaskari. They're white skin, black veins through it. And then standing at this larger table towards the back, you can kind of see him around this big central staircase that runs up, is Master Sarnak. He's tall, thin, wearing a deep black robe. He's got the hood pulled up, so you really can't see him very well. The rest of the apprentices that are around the room, maybe journeymen, are wearing brown robes, and they're working on various things. There's things bubbling on their tables, there's things smoking on their tables, there's things with electricity on their tables, and Master Sarnak was one of those with the electricity. But as you step inside, the young lady turns and says, fine, I'll come over and see what you need. And so you notice she reaches over and maybe turns one of these little knobs and walks over to the door and stands right in front of you with her arms on her hips and says, what do you want? She looks a bit perturbed.
Well, we were bringing our friend Satra, but also, this place is really cool.
Oh, excuse me. He's not with me.
Ow.
I'm here to look into alchemical stuff. Anything he does is on his own.
It's
So
okay,
anyways-
Holt. We'll go look at other stuff.
I break out the lute, start playing a sad song.
A small tear.
Yeah, right.
It's all
Small
right,
tear,
let's fly
small tear from a small guy.
to be hated.
Well, if I see him cry, I'm going to give him a cookie. Here, have a cookie.
She does make good cookies.
There you go.
Not with
Problem
her.
solved.
There we go. All right. The young woman turns and she looks at you and looks at you and looks at the rest of you, and she says, wait, what? Why are you here exactly? You...
I'm an artificer.
It looks cool.
I'm going to hand him another cookie. Here, eat this
Just
too.
a minute. And so she don't move, and she looks at all of you very pointedly and says, at all. And she walks around the stairs to
Right, immediately.
where you guess Master Sarnak is, and short conversation occurs, and she comes back and she says, I'll show you around. Don't touch anything, or you might lose a finger or a hand or all of you. So don't touch anything. So
See, it's not me. I was protecting you.
so she says, "Follow me," and she
Whoa.
starts heading kind of clockwise around this room and takes you past the tables and starts this long litany about how they're working on research into new alchemical potions and also into different power sources and energy sources for the different things that they're doing around the city. That currently they've got research into acids and also poisons, and they've got an area where they're doing all this. And so she takes you over, and there's this vat. In the vat, there's this glowing, bubbling liquid, and she says, "This is where we get our alchemical bases. We use that to do most of our magical infusions into them. This is what we base everything off of. Depending on what magic we get into them is how it changes the consistency of the potion." And then there's a door out there, and she walks out to the door, and she opens it up, and there's a pier that goes out into the water.
Ooh.
And she says this pier is for the loading and unloading of the different things that come in from various places around the Underdark. The boat is long enough for small boats to dock at, but we really don't use it for much of anything.
While she's giving us this tour, just at some point, if she takes a breath, I'm just gonna be like, "So, I'm Arlen, and as you know, this is Sotra and Holt, and I go
That's very
around,
cool.
introduce everybody, and be like, we didn't get your name."
Oh, she says, "Fine. My name is Arleth."
Arleth, another A
Oh,
name.
nice. That's not going to be confusing at all.
No, not at all.
Arlen, Aurel,
That's right. She says, "Well,
Arlen.
yes, my name is Arleth, but
Use my last name.
that's beside the point. Since you see that now that you've broken her shtick and actually asked her name, she looks a little flustered, like she's not sure what to do next. She
The
says,
air of mystery is gone.
"Well, no, it's just she's I guess not used to talking to people is what." Well, okay, she has a shtick that she gives, but she's not used to actually making conversation.
Gotcha.
I mean, she's
If you look over there, you see all that juice bubbling?
yeah.
What kind of stuff y'all got going on over there?
Well, we have lots of different oils and potions that we make here. Most common ones, of course, we have healing potions and things like that. Alchemical fire. We got smoke bombs, vials of acid. Some of the minor poisons. We've also got different things like if you need to be able to breathe underwater, which is a handy thing around here. We have potions that will allow you to do that. We make those in bulk because sometimes we do need to go underwater to get some of the alchemical things that we need to gather here, or artificing things. There are some actual really good mineral deposits that are underwater, and so we wind up having to dive down there. We haven't quite been able to perfect an actual submarine to use, so it winds up diving. But the lake is not terribly deep in the areas that we need to go to, so it's not too bad. Do have to watch out for plesiosaurs, which means that we then have to go armed, so we take guards with us when we do that. But that's another story. She says, "Now, this next door, if you see this door right over here, there's a little door that's got iron on it, and it looks like it's got a little hatch, And she says, through there is where we keep our black powder. It's in a special room that is on the back of the building, so that if it happens to touch off, that it will blow up straight up or down into the water below us and not take out the rest of the building. So it's reinforced on the sides, and the top and the bottom are not as reinforced, so that the explosion will not do any particular damage. We keep a great deal of black powder, and if it really gets to be a problem, we can actually flood the room with the lake water to keep it from burning." So you're like, wow, okay.
A very efficient setup.
Where are your poisons at?
Oh, well,
Look at that.
are you wanting to, wait, so are you
I'm
here
a
to
little bit of a
purchase?
poisoner myself.
She says, well, are you wanting to purchase some items? Is that what I'm,
They're just
test
tourists.
well, we can't test poisons on, intelligent creatures because that's,
Oh, you
frowned
can't.
upon. Okay, so, but let me continue with the tour, and then we'll talk about what you're looking for.
Satra is tapping her foot very rapidly, and she's looking very angrily.
It's a very,
Someone-
You're
very,
gonna get me
very-
kicked out of this place.
very
I'm
irritated
going
gnome.
for an oathbreaker.
So,
Oathbreaker.
takes you through this
Yeah,
other
that was your
door
thought.
that's just a normal door, and inside
No
this
mercy
door
for
there's
evil.
all these
Wow.
vats and things like that. And she says, "Let me show you what we're doing in here. This is the crystal growing facility." And she looks over on the wall and she puts on this huge rubber glove that goes all the way up to her shoulder, and she dips her hand into this vat and pulls it out, and there's this beautiful blue crystal, and it's glowing. And she says, "We infuse a lot of the solutions here with magical energy so that we can get different types of crystals, some of them imbued with different types of elemental magics. It allows us to make some of our items here. She takes the crystal and puts it back in there. And she said, but we let the crystals grow slowly. We get more pure crystals that way, as opposed to some of the faster ways to grow smaller crystals, but they tend to be more flawed. But you don't want to know about that. And so she takes you out of the door. You're like, actually, that's terribly
I
interesting.
want to know about that.
So she takes you
She's
back
above
over.
her stick though. She's on autopilot.
Yeah, right. You don't want to know about that. So you say, I do, and she just keeps walking. She takes you to this big main stairwell in the middle of the room and takes you up to the second floor. And the second floor is, it looks like it has a metal shutters that can be put over it, but they're open right now. And so she says, this is where we have mushrooms, herbs, and fertilizer.
Ooh.
And so we grow mushrooms and herbs up here. And you realize there's these stone troughs with all these mushrooms growing in them.
Wow,
And
now
all
we're talking.
yeah. And the herbs, actually, they have the shutters over them, and they have these purple grow lights that are shining down on them because there's no sun down here. And so they've got rows and rows and rows, and then over in the corner there's a pile of what looks like, fertilizer and stuff like that. And there's a big crane there, kind of positioned above the fertilizer, so that seems to be how they get it up there, is with this big crane. They just lift it up and then drop it on the corner of the building. And of course there's like 6-foot walls all the way around it, so you really can't even see any part of the city except the very, very tippy top of the artificer building in the middle.
I probably can't see any of it.
Right. Well, that's true. Very true. And so she shows you around the different herbs and the different mushrooms. A lot of them, they've had to adapt a lot of their potions that they brought from their homeland to use the local mushrooms and herbs and not the ones from their homeland. And then she takes you back down the stairs right to the front door and says, okay, well, that's the tour. So you were interested in purchasing some items? Is that what I heard?
I think our friend, well, I guess she's not. I'm not with her, but I know she wanted to learn and look around even more in depth than just a minor tour like what we got.
Just pat Holt on the shoulder.
But anyway, I'm not with her though.
Yeah. Well, so did you want to purchase something? You get the feeling this girl is missing the entire byplay between you guys. Maybe not so good with the whole human interaction thing. Yeah. Maybe she's not so good with the whole human interaction thing.
She's good at other things.
I'm just going to pipe up and say, to be honest, I was the one that was coming here to talk to Master Sarnak about this because I too am an artificer, but from a different area of the world.
So you're so all of you are from the upper part,
Yes.
from above,
Yes.
under the sky.
Yes.
That's very similar to where we came from. The reason we actually, opened a portal down here is because we were a little concerned about some of the politics and issues of opening a portal on the surface world might cause to some of the local duchies and nobility.
That's fair.
So if you open one in the remote corner of the Underdark, the only thing you really have to deal with are the Dark Elves and then the Dwerger, and we've been able to handle them so far.
So I think Ariel is trying to get some poison, if you guys have any to sell. And Holt is just looking at
I'm
stuff.
amazed. I'm just amazed.
Well, she kind of actually, when you say that, she kind of looks at you and she quirks a little smile and says, it is pretty amazing. And this is just the alchemy building. You should see the artificer building. It's impressive.
Man, everything about this place is awesome.
We're very proud of it. It took years to build, but it does help when you have access to, the abilities, the magic and technologies that we do.
And on that point, I would like to see the different the artificer place. Well.
So you don't need any alchemical goods while we're here.
Oh no, I need some poisons.
Well, how much poison were you
What'd you
looking
cost?
to get?
I'm imagining this
It's
giant
Purple,
cross
Wyvern,
with
basic.
It might behoove us
Drow.
also to
Drow.
get some
Take that
of the healing
again.
potions.
Well, we
Not
don't
just
have
to
any.
stock our wares.
We just have kind of a generic poison that we make down here. It's primarily used for some of the other things we use. So it's just kind of a basic poison. We do have a small cache of
It's just
drow
rat
poison because we were able to take it off of some drow. And we're researching how to reproduce it, but they use some some things that we don't have access to. Spider venom is not something we actually work with down here very much. So we're trying to reproduce it with some of the mushrooms and herbs that we've got, but haven't been terribly successful. So we do have poison though.
Just out of curiosity, if you were to get your hands on some of the spider venom in question, would that help further your research?
Oh yes,
process?
absolutely. We could definitely use some spider venom, especially for our research purposes that we're doing.
And if we were to perhaps come across some and bring it back to you, would
Oh,
that
we would be definitely
factor into some sort of a deal or?
Absolutely, we'd be glad to pay you for it. Maybe even work out a trade because we do have lots of things.
Speaking of spiders, actually, now that we're talking about it, have you ever seen something like this? And I'll pull out the jar that has the flying spider thing in it.
She looks at it and she says, "Can I hold that? I promise I'll give it back."
Careful.
Yeah, sure.
And she looks at it and she kind of spins it.
Oops.
At no point does she shake it. Okay. She looks at it and she says, "So what I'm seeing here is a trapped and imprisoned creature of no type that I've ever seen before. Where did you get this?" And she hands it back.
We got it from like an old grave. Was that what it was?
From the
It was
Mind
Mind Flayers.
Flayers lab. Because remember, he did things where.
Oh, so this was,
It was from the Mind Flayers
this
lab,
was
but it was
an
next to that
invention of
king and
his,
queen's
basically.
Yeah.
grave.
Well, remember, he was doing manipulations into actually changing creatures.
He's making
That was
monstrosities.
his alchemy. And
Yeah.
so she says, "Oh, Mind Flayers. Lithids have a tendency to tinker with living creatures. We really don't do that. I mean, we do have sometimes, if one of the members of our city loses an arm or a leg, we do have prosthetics that we can supply them with if we're unable to actually heal them. But as far as grafting new traits onto, we really don't do that. It's something that's just frowned upon. You want poisons?
But if you've just got the basic ones, I can make them myself.
Oh, well,
I'll just get ingredients.
well, we can definitely sell you some ingredients for it. You do happen to have the recipe. Well, what recipe do you use for making your poisons?
I use the insert recipe here.
Right.
Recipe for my poisons.
She says, "Oh, well, then our recipe is slightly different. We've decided to substitute this, and this for these two things because we can get a hold of them." "Well, look, I'll grab those for you. You should be able to substitute one for one. Shouldn't be a problem." So she heads over to these cabinets that are over against the wall. She starts opening them up and pulling out these little bags of things. And she says, "Well, here." She pours some stuff into a little bag. This bag, you notice, is waxed so it doesn't, spill out any of this little dust or anything like that. She pours the stuff in there and she ties them up with a string, brings them to you, and she says, "Okay, well, basic ingredients. So that's gonna be about 25 gold."
I don't quite have that much. Can you do 20?
I can do 20. That's fine.
All right. I'll
Yeah.
throw a 20.
And she says, "Okay, good deal."
I'm gonna say, do you mind sharing the potion recipes with me?
Absolutely, I can surely do that. Well, we'll have to copy them though,
Yes.
which will take a little while. We could probably have them for you in a couple days.
Okay. I'm also capable of copying too if you.
Well, that's true. If
Wouldn't
you want to come
mind.
back later, you could. We could also share with you our recipe for our alchemist fire. I mean, that's kind of nice
Okay,
too.
nice.
Or smoke bombs, or some of the acids that we've been able to distill out from some of the local creatures. Which is
I'm definitely writing down the poison stuff she was talking
Oh yeah, well
about.
yeah, sure, and she just kind of. Anyone else looking for any other items, gear, or pieces of alchemical
I'm
equipment?
just curious what the price of the healing potions you spoke about.
Healing potions are 50 gold pieces.
I have a question, but it's more of just like passing curiosity while we're walking through this place.
Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned that on the second floor they had little purple lamps basically to help grow things.
Yes.
Were those like made with like lights from crystals, or is that okay?
Yeah.
I was just kind of curious about
Purple
that.
crystals that are glowing. You're not sure what it was. Is I guess they give off UV light because of what they're made of. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And well, while we were walking through this, I remember you had said that the head honcho guy here was in his nice robe and everything, and he had it pulled up, and he was kind of doing his stuff. It was like there are other like apprentices and people in here also wearing their robes, kind of
Yeah,
doing
but
their
their
thing,
hoods
or-
are not pulled up, and their robes are brown. His is black, very nice, but there's a brown, kind of homespun looking. So yeah, apprentice robes.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah. You're kind of she's handing you the raw ingredients. You kind of notice that at some point
Okay.
Master Sarnak has kind of drifted up to the side of your group and is looking at all of you. He hasn't said anything. Gentleman has, of course, the pale marble skin, the black veins through it, and you notice his hair is white.
But I saw him because I've been waiting for him.
Okay, well, he walks up and he's just kind of looking at what's going on, but he hasn't said anything.
I'm vibrating.
The excitement.
Yes, I take my scroll and see the list of questions I have for him.
Okay.
I'd like to build an artificery place for myself on the top side. How do I do it?
This is what you tell him?
Yes.
And he kind of looks at you and he says, by yourself? He has this very deep voice. Okay.
Well, I'll have to get people to help me, and I know it will take a long time, but surely you can point me in the right direction.
On the surface world?
Yes.
I've never been to the surface world, so no.
Oh. And I leave.
And he kind of looks a little bit puzzled, shrugs and goes back to his table.
Before he goes off, I just go, she's not with us.
He kind of nods and heads back over, yeah.
I like how this is going to,
Yes.
this is going to be an ongoing thing.
So you leave, okay. Remember, they showed you the big, tall stone building in the middle of the town.
I didn't remember, but now I do.
Okay. So Sartra's left. Is anybody going to go chase her down, pick her up on their shoulder?
I'm
and keep
interested
getting away?
in the alchemy building.
Or, you mean
the artificial.
Okay.
And then I'm going to also look at her and go, you guys are really cool. It's really cool what y'all got going on.
And she goes, and again, she gets that funny little quirky smile on one side of her face and says, thanks. And then she immediately goes back over to the table, turns the burner back on what was bubbling, and gets back to work. You guys head towards the center of the town, right?
I'm actually going to go back to the tavern and begin creating poisons. So.
You can go up to your room? Okay, cool. You can do that. The rest of you head to the center of the town. The building in the middle of the town, remember, is stone. It actually looks remarkably like a medieval castle in that it has 3 towers at 3 of the corners, and then the 4th corner doesn't have a tower, but it's got steeply sloped roofs, and then they seem to be made of slate, but the walls are stone. You notice that there's narrow slits for windows, not really big windows. The door in front of you, however, leading into it is probably a 20-foot by 20-foot door. It's huge. It's made of what looks like bronze. You walk up to it. Beside it, there is a normal-sized door.
Oh, I just go and knock on the big door.
Dum, 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 dum. You hear kind of lots of noise from inside. Sounds like steam and metal pounding and all kinds of, basically fabrication noises like you would hear from a modern day metal fabricating. Maybe you hear things whining like they're maybe being cut by saw blades or things like that.
I take one full step back and something's happening.
That's right. So then the little door opens and out steps this young man. He's got brown hair, the pale and the white skin. And he says, we normally only use that door for taking in the larger machines, so...
I am noticeably disappointed as I look over at the smaller door that opened.
He says, but can I help you? You're here to pick up a...
They're interested in something.
You're here to pick up a commission?
We are here
No.
we would like to look around and possibly make an order for a commission.
Look around. Well, a lot of our methods are kind of proprietary, and so we don't necessarily share them.
But wait, we're from the top side. We're not from the Underdark, and
Well-
I would like to build something similar to this up top side. And I was just wondering if I could find out how to do that, because I'm an artificer as well.
I've got to get permission for... Hold on.
Okay,
And he says,
here's
wait
my
here.
card.
Wait here. And so he steps back inside the door.
While he
He
disappears,
didn't even take your card.
No.
I know.
when he disappears, I'm gonna aside with Satra and just be like, perhaps we could put this to them as like a franchising opportunity. Like you underneath their wing, but you're the manager of like the top side, expanding their business into new ventures. Lean into the ego of whatever they have going on here.
Okay.
Is an idea.
A few minutes later, he says, well, you can step in here really quick. I'm trying to speak to Mistress Alicia, another A word. Mistress Alicia, But she's really in the middle of something right now, so I'll get back. Well, here, come inside and you can hang out in the gift shop.
Ooh.
But wait, I have something for you. I reach into my bag and I pull out one of my. I already gave him 2 cookies. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a wild berry cookie.
He says, "Oh,
It's a cookie. It tastes very good.
ooh, this is quite good."
It's made with
Ooh.
real flour.
And sugar.
Oh, right, not this stuff we have to make down here. Interesting. And he says, I'll be back. And so he steps back inside, leaves the door open this time, and there's kind of a front room that's made with, I guess they basically put up curtains on these frames, and you can kind of see that there's lots of lights back in there. You can see that there's flashing lights. Looks like maybe something is on fire or maybe being welded or is flickering. You can smell hot metal as you go in. Hear lots of noises. There's kind of a whining noise. There's soft woofing noises, maybe like coming from a steam engine. All kinds of things. It's actually kind of loud. And so you go in a lot louder than you're used to. You walk into this, I guess they call it the gift shop, and there's a little counter, and behind it there's some racks of what look like clothes. There's some tables, and inside the counter, it's glass. There's lots of little different items for sale. And you notice that there is a young woman, blonde-headed, standing behind the counter, and she says, "Hi, were you interested in purchasing something?"
Well, it depends on if you have what I am interested in purchasing.
I just go over to like the clothes rack and just start looking for a robe.
Did this guy say that this Mistress Alicia, is that the guild master or what?
She's the head of the Artificer Guild. She says, are you looking for something in particular, like a robe? Let me see. And so she looks at you, kind of sighs and says, "You're a big fella, aren't you? This one might work for you." And she reaches up and hands you this robe. And you notice it's got all these patches on it.
I go like put it on.
It fits pretty well,
All right.
actually. Yeah, it's big. It's big. It's a robe of useful items.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Would you be interested in purchasing this?"
Oh yeah, I mean, well, what would this kind of go for?
Oh, 100 gold, if you happen to have that much. I mean, I understand it's pretty steep.
I'm sure I don't.
Our party is broke.
Bro, we need to take a job that pays.
Not
This Heroes of Stonegate.
It doesn't pay very well.
Yeah, 12 gold, so.
I'm trying to see. I don't even know where my inventory is to know how much
But you guys have gotten some gemstones or
Yeah.
some things like that.
I've got one that I need to get cut.
So we haven't sold
Yeah,
anything.
Well,
Well,
we
I
could-
haven't gotten
Here would be the
gemstones or
place to
anything.
maybe do that.
or get them cut or sold. Either one. Sell them raw, and then they'll come for it.
I look quite disappointed and I take the robe back off. I'm like, sorry, but I can't quite.
Oh well. That's okay. Hey, if you are in town for a while, I'll make sure and keep it back for you. That's fine.
I
She
do
hangs it back
appreciate
on.
that.
Anything else you're looking for? You look inside the glass case, and there's wands, and there's gloves, and looks like bags and little crystal lenses set in look like glasses. All kinds of interesting things like that.
Do you have anything that will help us see in the dark?
Well, actually, we've got some potions. You would have to get those from the Alchemy Guild, but they have dark side potions you can get there. I think they're 100 gold pieces each, or something, maybe 50 gold
How
pieces
much
each.
is
I'm not sure. You'd have to ask them.
26 platinum?
But you're wanting to see in the dark. Now, if you're wanting something more
That's
permanent than that,
260
we could possibly
Each
make you
platinum
something
is
from that.
10.
It wouldn't be too difficult, but it would take a little while.
How much would it cost to make some like glasses that we could take all
Yeah, some
I would-
dark vision.
I would think
goggles.
probably maybe 150 gold. Yeah.
We're thinking.
How many pairs
Maybe
of those do
like-
we need? How many people here have dark vision in our party? Just you? That's it? Oh, you two?
Yeah.
We
So
do.
like 4 of them.
Like 4 pair?
I've got it, but I'm not there. So.
Oh, okay.
I have a gold question. Do you guys not have any money?
I've got like
At one point I had 50, but I've been
Yeah.
spending it.
We haven't gotten very much gold.
I have
We haven't
12
got a
gold.
lot of
Yeah.
stuff, money. You've been selling cookies and stuff, so that's probably you guys.
Well, she's also
Well,
been
and
collecting
you've
all
also-
the gold and not passing.
You've also got the platinum from
Because we're not with her.
Yeah, that's right. You're not with it. But you've also got the platinum from the sale of the T-Rex carcass too, which I believe they gave you. Was it 25?
26.
26
wasn't it?
platinum? Yeah, maybe it was.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what's 26 divided by 6? That's 4? With
Yeah.
some left over?
That's just approximately, I think,
40 gold each.
yeah, 40 gold each, because platinum's worth 10.
So you guys need to
That's
put 4 platinum down for yourselves.
But you know, that's close. You could definitely put a down payment on a commission with that, and then try and procure some other money later.
How close would you be to getting your robe with that money?
Still not quite there.
Still not there.
So see, we're trying to, kind of save the world here. So, any kind of help you can give us, because there's this, this woman's coming, and y'all are kind of in the path you've seen coming through. So, any kind of
Right.
discount that you might be able to help us to save the world.
So, Savior of the World discount is from here?
Yes, savior of the
I think we
world.
could probably give you 10% off.
10%. I mean,
I think that's, so
That's
we
a-
save 10% of the
10%.
world.
I mean, yeah. We're gonna make sure that the only
Well,
9,
especially if you're buying in bulk. About that time, the young man comes back and he says, Mistress Alicia is really, really busy, but she did say that I could show you around as long as I keep you away from the more sensitive areas. So if you'll follow me past the screens very quickly.
Absolutely.
And so he walks past the screens, you guys are going to follow. And again, like I said, they're curtains. You step out into this huge open area. There's lots of pillars. The entire building is probably this first floor is like 40 or 50 feet tall. It's huge. And there's these big stone pillars that are basically set in a square around the center, and everything's kind of arched. So it's really tall towards the center. Over on the left-hand side, you see what looks like 3 or 4 apprentices, and by them is a guy in a purple robe. Maybe the journeyman or something like that, and they're all working on various little objects. Some of them look like they're maybe making wands. A few of them seem like they're making these little glasses, gloves, robes, things like that. So they're making all kinds of items along those lines. And he looks at them and says, "This is where we make some of our wondrous items, more mundane items, spoons that always stir your porridge. We also have cups that heat up and cool down to the correct temperature for you if you're trying to do that, things like that. But we've also got other things, because we're doing a lot of proprietary things here. Every one of our apprentices and journeymen are required to wear rings of mind shielding so people can't read their thoughts. And so as you're apprenticed here, we give you your ring. We also give you a all-purpose tool. And you notice one of the guys reaches into his pockets and he has this funny little thing on it, and he flips it around, and out comes a screwdriver. And then he screws something down, and he takes it and flips it around, and then the screwdriver starts spinning. And then he flips it around and pulls this other thing, and you can see he's got all these kind of tools built into this thing. And so he's using it to do various things, like drilling holes, sawing things in half with a reciprocating saw. And this whole contraption's about the size that you can wrap your hand around it pretty easily.
I'm vibrating again.
Yeah,
Maybe
well, it's
salivating
pretty
a little
cool,
bit,
and
mouth
you're
wide open.
you're looking at it going, this is really pretty cool. And so he says, and we also give an all-purpose tool to all of our apprentices, because they're going to be working here. They're required to stay an apprentice for at least 2 years to pay for the various items that we give them, and then after that, they're welcome to go apprentice at the Alchemy Guild, or if they decide to go into a different area of studies, they are welcome to, but they do have to stay for 2 years at least to pay for the goods that we create for them, and also to pay for the teachers that are teaching them. And he says, so let me show you the rest of what we got here. You notice lined up against the wall, there's several
Apprentice here for 2
cabinets
years,
with
and then-
various items in them, pots, urns, glasses, gloves, different things like that. He says, these are where we keep our finished goods that have been made as a commission for someone in town. They haven't been picked up yet. Some of them they're in the process of finishing, so just to let you know. And
Is
he walks them past those.
Interesting in those? Anything shiny that sticks out about the commissioned items here?
Nothing major. I mean, again, a lot of them are glasses, gloves, pots, pans. It's pretty mundane items, some of them are. If you are cooking and you don't want to have an open flame, you might want a pot or a pan that heats itself up. And so, there's frying pans in there, all kinds of different things.
I want to ask him, what do those gloves do?
Oh, the gloves. He says those gloves are... Well, he says we've got 2 sets of gloves. As working in this area, it's sometimes nice to be able to lift things that are heavier. So some of those gloves are gloves that make you stronger. Gloves of ogre power. And he says, but the other ones we had there are actually attuned to the different types of areas of artificing that we do, and you notice that they're kind of made of chitin and sinew, and they kind of cover your hands. He says, now, once you attune to them, they give you a proficiency in one artisan's tool of your choice, and they allow you to double your proficiency check with them. Of course, she says that they help you with any task that you're going to do, but that's literally what they do, instead of your normal proficiency bonus. So they allow you to basically just double your proficiency bonus. She says that basically each pair of gloves can only be used for one particular type of craft, and once you attune to them, they can't be taken off. I mean, they're there for the duration. Now, you can do other crafts, they just don't give you the bonus to do them. But, you know, we give those to people who are, you know, deciding to focus in a craft, maybe in alchemy, or, you know, if they're doing some kind of artificing. So we keep a lot of those on hand. And he says, well, follow me and I'll show you where. He walks past this, these two stairs, and behind the stairs you can see all these kind of different tubes and pipes and crystals, some of them broken, a lot of them just kind of stacked against the wall. He says, that's where we keep our spare parts. Not very exciting, but I think you'll like this think this is pretty interesting. And he takes you to this area where there's these long tables, and on the tables are all these different types of, like wands, some of them look like guns, and there's swords, there's spears, bows and arrows, different things like that. A lot of things you don't recognize, but they look vaguely like the pepper pot she's got. And he says, this is our weaponry manufacturing line. And you see that there's about 10 different apprentices there and a couple journeymen. And he says, we work here a lot because we do get incursions from some of the denizens of the Underdark here. And if you look out that door at the end of in the back of the room, and there's a kind of a double door there, he says, that is the firing range where we actually can go out and test the weapons. It actually aims down into the water so that we can, you know, make sure that we don't have any stray shots go anywhere else. But we also have a firing range where we can fire it out through one of the portals into an unoccupied dimension, so we make sure we don't get any stray shots out anywhere else. He said, but yes, we have this is our weapons manufacturing. And then he says, follow me over here, and there's another area of the tower, and in the middle of this area of the tower is what looks like one of those boats you saw, but it's in like dry dock. And they're working on this boat. They're armoring the hulls with what looks like brass, and somebody's working on one of the engines on the back, and somebody else is looks like they're calibrating one of those guns on the front that looks like a cannon. And he says, this is our vehicle manufacturing area. If you look at the floor below, you'll notice it's metal. He stomps on it, clong, clong, clong. He says, actually, this entire thing is a lift that can drop down into the water, so we can use it to actually launch boats from here. So we build them in dry dock and then launch them in the water. It also goes upwards, so if we're making flying vehicles, we can take it to the top of the tower and launch from the top of the tower. We don't do much flying vehicles. It's a little tricky and dangerous, and if things crash, there's not a whole lot of need to fly when you're under the ground. But we do need a lot of boats, and so the plesiosaurs attack a lot, so we have to be able to defend ourselves from them. So we do make a lot of boats down here, and of course we're always working on new weapons to defeat the plesiosaurs. We would prefer non-violent, maybe where we didn't kill them, because we don't want to disrupt the ecosystem, but yeah, they're kind of aggressive, so sometimes we have to kill them. And they do make good eating. And so he says, follow me. And so you see that there's another area, kind of this last corner. There's metal walls kind of set up, and they've got these little, I don't know, things that are coming in, almost look like cogs of a gear. And he walks around the back of them, and you notice that each of the cogs of gear has what looks like a suit of armor sitting inside of it. And so if you've ever seen, you remember in the Iron Man movie where he had all these little places where they would keep his different armors, that's what this looks like, places. And he says, so this is where we're working on our armors and different things. Some of them are more mundane looking armors, leather, chain, things like that. Some of them are kind of a type of powered armor that some of our higher level artificers like to use and imbue with some of their different abilities. And we're, of course, also taking commissions. You met probably Captain Bartlow on the way here. Captain Bartlow uses some of his powered armor. He wears it on a daily basis, so sometimes he brings it in because it needs to be tuned up, or he needs to work on it some if it's taking any damage. And so this is our armor creation area, and you notice that there's anvils there, and a lot of the anvils and things like that have actually what looks like some kind of steam hammer thing that can be used to pound things flat or pound dents out. And he takes you kind of out the side there, and you're back right outside the gift shop. And he says, well, I hope you enjoyed your tour. I'm sorry, Mistress Alicia couldn't talk to you. Again, she's very, very busy working on some new research projects But yeah, take you to the gift shop. I hear that Vanessa has offered you a 10% discount. Is that correct?
15. 15.
No, I think she pretty much said 10%. But since you're saviors of the world, we figure that's the least we could do to help you save the world.
That is the least.
And we didn't catch your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Garland.
Carolyn,
Yes.
I need to talk to someone here that can help me figure out and understand what I would need to make my own artificer place per se. Like what would be a good layout
Right.
for it and how to do that.
Well, probably Mistress Alicia would be the one to talk to about that. She's the one who laid out most of the alchemy and artificer buildings herself. Of course, Master Sarnak gave her suggestions for the alchemy building, of course, because he knows a lot more about alchemy than she does. But she was the one who designed our buildings here, and I think it works pretty well. He kind of looks around and
Well,
smiles. you
is
know.
there any way I could get in to talk to her?
Well,
I wouldn't keep her all day.
I could put you on her calendar and see if we could work a time in when you could make.
How
I'll tell
far away is that? I'm not
Well, no.
from
Come back tomorrow, and we'll see how her schedule looks for tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, definitely the day after.
Just a minute. So I'm digging around in my pouches,
Or
She's not actually with us.
oh, no.
and I'm pulling out.
It's a whole thing.
I'm pulling out 3 wild berry cookies and 3 cinnamon cookies and a berry muffin and 2 biscuits. And I
two
put it in a
golden
nice
apples.
little
And
sack
he looks at you and he says, "Well, this is very generous. Why are you giving this to me?"
because I really, really want to learn about this place.
So is this for me or for her?
Just a second. I pull out a smaller bag with one of each. This is for you, and this is for her.
Well, he looks at you and he says, "Well, I mean, you don't have to bribe me with baked goods, so I do appreciate
Well,
the
I'm
offer."
not totally bribing with baked goods. I would love to set up a system where we could exchange goods and services between the Underdark and where I'm from.
Oh, you're looking to make a trade arrangement. Well,
Yes,
we could definitely
but that
talk
also
about that.
includes artificing, and because I'm doing some stuff up there, and I could send some of my stuff to you guys, and
So
you
I
could send some of
assume
your
you're-
stuff to me.
I assume you're planning to go back up to the surface world.
Yes, but I figure I can come back and forth.
Look, I will talk to Mistress Alicia and see if she can see you tomorrow or the day after. But she is really very busy.
Okay.
And he says, "I promise, I will."
All right, thank you.
So he takes the little bag, and then the bigger bag, and he says, "Well, if you have any questions, if you want to purchase anything here, just talk to Vanessa." And Vanessa beams and smiles at you, and he says, "Well, have a good evening." And so,
You as well.
or have a good afternoon. I mean, it's really hard to tell what time it is underneath the ground. I mean, they've got clocks, I'm sure, but you know. And so he smiles at you broadly, and then kind of heads back behind the curtains.
What was his name?
His name is Garland. Mhm.
So yeah, I'll go talk to Vanessa.
Mhm.
Well, first sidebar with the group.
You guys step to the side
Would
and
it be worth it to invest in some sort of method for those of us who cannot see in the dark to do that? Wondering if we can't work out some sort of deal where we get something like that. Maybe your robe also included, or like a bundled package, something like that. I don't know.
Would it help you if I gave you a magic stone that glowed?
Well, that would help us to see for sure, but I'm thinking more of like in stealth situations when we don't
Yeah.
want to draw attention to ourselves. So,
Big, big brass goggles sticking out to here,
Yeah,
with,
yeah,
black stones in
yeah,
them.
I'll go and talk to Vanessa, almost Alicia.
Okay.
So if we wanted to have something commissioned, for example, a pair of goggles that helps you to see in the dark if you do
Right.
not have the ability, what are we thinking for the price range of that?
Well, of course, you do get a 10% discount, so we could probably do it for $125. $125 gold a piece.
And then would there be a further discount you said for purchasing in bulk?
Well, how many were you thinking of purchasing?
At least 3, and also
Three?
that rope that my friend was looking at.
Well, the robe is 100. How much did I say it was?
I
100
wrote
gold
down
pieces?
100 gold.
100 gold pieces, and of course 10% discount, so 90. So you're wanting 3 sets of goggles for 125 each. So that would be 550 gold. Oh, sorry, 540 gold total. So to do that, to commission them, those 4 items, we would need probably a down payment of 1/2 up front. So 540 is 270 total.
And that's with the discount?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's call it an even 200, and then you can come pick them up in a couple days.
All right.
Somehow I got a little cash. I don't know why.
Are you aware of where some enterprising people could acquire some paying work in this town in the meantime?
There's always jobs. It's interesting. Everybody around here wants to be an artificer. Nobody wants to be a cook, or nobody wants to, take care of the horses. Well, we don't have horses, but nobody wants to take care of, some of the things around town. We always need, people who can help out in some of the local shops. So yeah.
So do y'all have any bards that come through here, or anybody that comes by? to
No,
entertain?
very few bards at all. And most of us, again, are very interested in working and building things, so we don't get a whole lot of artists through here. So, so I see you are a bard.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
I expect you could make quite a good bit of money. Maybe in the Golden Tankard. It's a nice place across the way.
I love to cook
I
and
could
bake.
write a song called She's
Oh, we
Not
always.
Artificial.
Oh, and you were the one with the cookies, right?
Yes.
Garland said that they were quite good. So are you planning to work for maybe? Well, I think I need to seek you guys out at the Golden Tankard.
Yeah.
Is that where you're staying?
Yes.
Yeah, Elena's place. Is that the Golden
Yeah,
Tankard?
Elena's place.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the one who told you about the
That's
the
so-
treasure hunter that can.
Well, I'm happy to work and make some money.
Mm-hmm.
So at 200 for down payment, are we interested in putting the trigger on this?
Yes.
So
Oh, great.
that would be between the 4 of us. Oh wait, it's just the 3 of us purchasing things. So
Somehow I have 190 gold.
I have 123. So do you want to go whatever 200 divided by 3 is? I'm not a math person.
I'll put 100.
Okay,
You
I'll
said
put
4.
it. I'll put in
Okay, so how much
70,
is 4?
and then
40 gold.
you
You
can
can
just
take
pay.
all 60 or whatever, but mine
Mm.
64. So I mean,
So it'd be 100 from you, 60 from me, 40 from you.
We only need 200.
We only need 200. So if I
40
pay
gold.
60,
I'm just saying you can have all my money. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
something.
I'll pitch in 20 gold. I mean, I've done well with my cookies.
Mm-hmm. You have.
I haven't made 20 gold, but I've done well.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly you're giving them to me for free.
That's right. Oh wait, I thought you didn't know me.
No, you're just not
You
with
did give.
Well, I know you.
You said it, and then you gave him the cookies. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
That's true. That's true.
so yeah, we'll put our 200 down and then put in the order.
Mhm.
And how long will it take for everything to be ready?
Probably 2 to 3 days. If you want to check in 2 days, we'll see how far, whether they're finished or not. It may be 2 days. It just depends on how busy some of the apprentices are on other projects. But I wouldn't think more than 3 days total.
And is the robes ready to go now? Isn't it? Wasn't it off the rack or?
Well, right, he could. Well, now, if he would prefer, we could tailor one that fits him a little better. Well, the one on the rack fitting fine, but she's like, we
You
could
want
tailor
one
it.
that's tailored.
Yeah, of this.
No,
No.
Come on, lumberjack. He's like,
All right.
it fits.
So I'm just gonna roll
All my
these
boys are
sleeves up.
tailored, so
Yeah, that's
obviously
right.
I don't know you either.
All
now.
your robes are tailored.
That's right. I'm
All
just-
right.
That's what I said. I didn't claim to be with any name.
Yeah.
Did we
Yeah.
see him try this thing on?
Yeah. It's a kind of a brownish robe, I believe, and it has a bunch of patches on it.
Right. So I'm gonna walk up to him and just look at your. Can I look at your patches? Are they
I don't-
pouches?
am
Or
I-
do they do
Do I
stuff?
have it right now? Because I
You
thought
can
we were
pick it
just
up.
negotiating.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can get
I'm
it.
sorry.
You can get it right now. It's done. Yeah.
Hey,
I need
I'm
gold robe
poking
for
his
200. You
patches.
just skip.
Right.
And well, I'm like, he's probably
But down
even,
like a
he's
tree.
even giggling because I'm.
See, that's
Oh,
kind of what I
that's
was thinking
true.
too.
Yeah,
It was
because
like-
you're a Goliath.
I
It's
can-
more like
I can climb.
a short trench, a jacket
Yeah,
or something like
yes.
that.
I can climb.
Yeah. All right. So
I have great dexterity. I'm just
heading
gonna
back
climb.
to the Golden Tankard after this.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've been brewing in your room. Elena sees you. You probably aren't hungry yet. It's only been a couple hours since you got there, but it may be close to when you might want to sleep, and everybody can make level 7, and then we can talk to Trevor about his, or Jethro got his robe of useful items.
Is it late in the evening, or would this be a better time for us to stop by and inquire about
Make some money.
jobs?
Probably
then
want to do
go
it
to
in the
sleep.
morning. Probably
Okay.
want to do it in the morning.
Alright.
All right, so long rest, everybody. Make your level 7. All right, Trevor. I don't know if you know how the robe of useful items does.
I do.
All right.
Well, I see. I just kind of noticed something going through the alchemist place.
Mm-hmm.
That the robe is the researcher's PPE.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that is loose fitting, form flowing, you know, easy to put on and take off in times of need, you know, just, oh no, if your sleeve gets caught on fire, just take the whole thing off
Yep.
real quick, you know, just.
Every single one of those robes they wear are robes of useful items. The patches are on the inside.
Where?
They got everybody kitted out. So, you know, you need another vial, you pull a rack and put it on the thing, and then, yeah, when your robe runs out of patches, you just get a new robe. Of course, that comes out of your apprentice salary, but, you know, take the
Yeah,
time.
so we're resting. We rested, right?
Long rest, everybody's healed up. All spell points are back. Yep.
Okay, so I've spent one of my spell points to do a
Potion of your choice.
healing potion.
Okay, healing potion. Next day dawns, maybe, though you're not sure because you can't see the sun. But you wake up. Elena calls you downstairs because she has breakfast on the long table that was there. It's basically consists of what looks like mushrooms and some meat, and then some kind of porridge, and then of course water or wine or ale to go with it.
It looks great,
Kind
thank you.
of sitting around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thinking of a way to make money. You were talking about possibly putting on a production. I was thinking, you know, they were saying like they have a kitchen full of artificers, and so I was thinking perhaps we could bring some of that Stonegate charm to like an event. Maybe talk to Elena about you baking up something. I'm proficient in brewing. Maybe I could make a special Oktoberfest style, you know, limited time only IPA. You know, we could put on a show. We could just, you know,
Topside IPA. There we go.
Well, I'm thinking about applying for a job.
Are you planning on staying here?
Well, not forever, but I can cook and make some money while I'm here.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
Well,
But,
shouldn't we get on back on the path to tracking down Glorificus and the treasure hunt?
I think by soon we should, but we just put in an order for some items that will
Oh.
probably help us on that front. So
Nice.
we need to sort
What'd you get?
some goggles that will help us see in the dark, so that we can stealth without lighting shit up all the time.
Yeah.
Would definitely be useful down here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Speaking of useful,
Jethro has a nice
Oh,
He's
you
got a new
fancy
robe.
jacket. Always put a lot of pockets on there.
huge spelling of the title.
It's got a rowboat.
And we are sort of
A big patch looks like a rowboat with a horse.
we put a down payment, but strictly speaking, we probably need to raise the funds to pay off the rest of.
Right.
So what do we think about,
Just do it.
you know, pitching that?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good for it.
Is there anything that you guys think you would like to do while we are in town, at least until tomorrow?
Well, I know that they're shepherds, you know. Got T-Rex. So
Yeah, they may have room for shepherds, huh?
I
Got
could probably,
T-Rex.
I could probably help out on that
Yeah,
front.
right. You've finished your breakfast. You're considering doing some kind of production, or at least music, brewing some food, things like that.
So when
Love it.
breakfast,
Would you?
when breakfast
Yeah, that's like,
finishes, I'm gonna ask her
I got a 4.
if it'd be okay for me to go to the pub she mentioned, the restaurant or whatever.
That's where you're staying.
Okay, well then I'm
The
gonna go
gold
back.
tankard,
I'm gonna go back in the kitchen
I got
and offer
11.
my services.
Okay, well, you know, as you head towards the kitchen, Elena goes, whoa. I know you're a cook and all, but what's going on?
Well, we've been wanting to buy some stuff down here and could use some extra cash, so I was going to cook, since I've been told, I've heard from numerous people that you have a hard time finding people who want to cook, and I love to cook. So I thought I could do some cooking here to kind of help offset some of the cost of the things that we wanted to buy.
And she looks at you and she says, well, let me take you back into the kitchen and let you see what we've got going on. So she takes you back there. The kitchen's pretty standard. There is running water. inside, which is nice. You don't have to pull it from a well or anything like that. You notice that there's actually a stove, which is something, you're used to kind of an oven, one of those stone ovens with fire in it and things like that. This stove just kind of heats up, so it's got some odd technological things going on in there, but you're basically familiar with how it works. She kind of shows you, this is where you turn it on, this is where you set the temperature, all those different things. She shows you the flour they have, which is made from some of the local mushrooms and some things like that. She shows you some of the other distillations and flavors that they get from some of the local flora and fauna. A lot of it, you kind of taste and you're like, I think I can work with this, but it's definitely something that's going to be a little out of your depth until you get used to it.
Right.
And she says, okay, so now you're trying to make a little bit of money. She says, understand that I don't own the golden tankard. My mother does. My mother's an artificer. She says, which means I basically work here 7 days a week, pretty much all day long until we close. So I can definitely use the help. Would it be fair to offer you 4 gold pieces a day?
I think that's good.
Okay. And if you use some of your supplies that you brought from the surface, some of that wonderful tasting flour and some of those berries and things like that, I can compensate you for however much you use. You tell me what it's worth to you, and we'll work out a price.
Okay. I have prices already for my cookies and stuff already made. Are you wanting the ingredients themselves?
Well, no, if you've already got cookies and stuff already made, we can definitely, I'll take all of them you have.
Okay.
Okay. Now, bit of advice. There's a high demand for that kind of stuff here. So,
Your prices are too low for this place.
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
that's what
no,
I'm
I'm
saying,
gonna
You're
make them higher.
underpricing
Yeah.
yourself.
What I'm
So-
hearing is we throw a party at the Brass Cornet, whatever this place is called,
yeah.
and that's how we make the money.
There you
Brass
go.
Cornet?
Brass Cornet.
The bronze cornhole. Can't wait to have a party there.
Golden trumpet.
I think that's a Skyrim place. with
Yeah,
brass
right.
connection.
It's the golden tankers.
The golden tank, much better than the Brass Cornet.
Yeah, that's right.
I was trying to figure out what cornet was.
Yeah, so
I think it's an instrument.
we're kind
Oh,
of
cornet.
easing
Yeah.
in on this conversation.
Uh-huh.
To be like, we actually had thought, because we had been hearing from around the town, that there's a certain cracks in the community's skill set, and we happen to have some people that could fill those cracks.
Right.
We were thinking, perhaps, if you would like for your fine establishment to host an event tonight, perhaps. Or do you need more time than that? Maybe tomorrow.
all the time.
We have an entertainer, a world-class entertainer from
I
the
did
outside.
notice he was a bard.
I'm also a very accomplished brewer,
Mhm.
and of course you are, such a an excellent baker. So we were thinking perhaps we could partner with you to throw an event that would be sort of a like a celebration where we could.
She says, well, sounds good, but the only problem is trying to get beer ready in one night is going to be a little
Brewing
difficult.
from scratch, not so much, but perhaps I could use some techniques I have learned to just sort of flavor maybe a vat you already have, or
Well, I have a different idea. If my new cook can watch the shop for a minute, I'll be back. And she takes her apron off and puts it on you and it hangs down to your ankles, and she goes, that's not going to work. Never mind. And so she just puts it on the counter and takes off.
I can fix it.
She's got
you have your own apron, don't
Yeah,
I
you?
was
you do.
gonna roll it up.
Yeah. And she heads
Thank
off. So you're all kind of sitting around there
She's
talking
a
about
bloody
this.
stuff picker.
So I've got an idea. When we have the party, okay, I will turn you or someone else into an animal. Now, I'll turn
So
into an
this is when
animal. You're
I can
making
start
music.
making them.
We'll all make. We'll turn into sheep.
She gave
And
you
we'll
an
all just
apron,
make
so I think she
sheep
gave you a
noises.
go
Think about it.
I don't know if that'll go great with the concert.
What if I turn you into a female sheep?
So
And then I'll be a male sheep.
I don't like where this is going.
So
I'm
bad.
planning on telling like our saga for how it's
Right.
going. So,
The
so
Saga
the
of
part,
Stonegate.
so there is the Saga of Stonegate, and so there is the part with the sheep where you heroically shoot them into the woods,
Right.
and
Nice.
we ran.
That
and
was
did.
very heroic.
And so if you could just act that part out.
I could use some water to make some like
Yeah.
animated,
Ah,
you know,
see?
like sort of
Right.
add
We
to
can make
the
it very
ambiance.
exciting.
Very exciting with the sheep.
So about 45 minutes goes by, and Elena comes back, and she's got this what looks like a bag, and she goes to the counter and she takes the bag and she opens it, and there's these little bottles. And she sets them out and she says, "Okay, The Alchemy Guild said that I could have these for 20 gold pieces each, and there's 4 of them. She says they're failed longevity potions. Normal longevity potions, make you get younger. Well, this batch went bad, and so they make things get older.
Oh, yes.
So if we use this, and you're the alchemist, to make the beer or wine or whatever we're making older, then it can be prematurely aged. So
How quickly does it age stuff?
instantly.
But how, like, old?
Advanced.
Oh, well,
80 years?
Hang on. So it only ages you like at most 12 years.
I get 2 attacks. That's 12 years potentially. And if I offhand another weapon,
By then,
18 extra years on somebody.
yeah, the back is sore, the knees have blown out.
Right.
Easy.
So
Or
we need to get
They get much bigger and stronger.
going
You,
on.
you don't know what's gonna happen.
like immediately.
Don't use it on an elf.
Hey, as soon as she left the building, I went ahead and
Or
started
dragon.
baking my cookies.
Okay. You're gonna have to use probably your own flour.
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff
I
like
am.
that.
I still have
Turn
some
into an
left.
ancient dragon.
Yeah, and you're probably gonna wind up using the rest of it.
Right.
Probably the rest of your berries and stuff like
Right,
that.
figured.
You get them
Okay.
put into the little oven that's back there and get it adjusted the way it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
They start cooking. You kind of have to check on them, make sure they don't burn, because again,
It's
you're
not
not
that
really
big.
sure.
I mean, I have time, but in the meantime, at the
Mhm.
same time, I'm gonna put a pot on the stove
Hmm.
and I'm gonna start making soup.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna
T-Rex soup.
I'm gonna test it out.
Beef
I'm thinking about making a T-Rex mushroom risotto.
With brain sauce.
No, that is
They left
not
the tentacle sauce.
Oh yeah.
No,
Like calamari.
for something else.
Anyway, all right. So you start cooking back there. Like I said, in 45 minutes, she comes back and says, "It smells pretty good." And oh, I see you got your cookies started. Look, and so she explains to you about the potions and that you may have to play with them a little bit to get the right aging on them. But for beer, we could probably use 2 or 3 drops in each one, and it'll age them prematurely. So
So I'm gonna get my brewer's kit stuff out
Okay.
and raid the herbs that I took from Miriam's place. Put together a ginger beer
Mm.
kind of vibe,
okay.
but with like a little weird rosemary kick at the end.
All right. She says, "Well, if we're gonna do this, are we planning to do this tonight or tomorrow night?"
I was about to ask this very question. When are we doing this?
Well, I suppose
Because I could parade around on my elk
And let people know.
and let people know they've probably never seen it out before. It's
All right.
I
you know?
mean, if we
Well, I haven't probably seen it. Well, they may have seen it on TV.
Elias says that he is pretty much ready to go at the drop of a hat, so it really depends on how long it takes us to get things together. But if we think we can pull it together by tonight and also get people in the door, then
Probably
you know,
could, but it never hurts to also let the anticipation build either. So it's up to you.
So tomorrow night.
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
She says, "Well, then, if we've got a lot to do, then I'm gonna close the bar for the day, so we can get this taken." Because she's the only one who works here, really, besides Sandra. She says, "I'm gonna close the bar for the day so we can get it decorated. I'll go get some paper so we can put some leaflets out." And so she says, "Again, I'll be right back. You mind the kitchen." And so she takes off again. 30 minutes goes by and she comes back and she says, "Okay, so I was able to get this for a gold piece." And she's got this stack of paper, which the gold piece for a stack of paper is pretty cheap. She says, "And so we need to make some leaflets telling people it's tomorrow at 7 bells. And that's when we're going to start the show. Do we want to charge a cover charge for people to come in?"
Heck yeah.
Mm.
And she looks around and she kind of rubs her hand and she says, "Look, these artificers have lots of money. This could be a real windfall for us." And she says, "Why don't we try a cover of 3 gold a person? Maybe 5 gold. I think 5 gold's going to keep a few people away."
I think 5 gold is better
Yes.
All right.
because
5
then you're
gold.
gonna get the higher level clientele.
Oh, no. Even an apprentice can come up with 5 gold from somewhere. Trust me. And, we can pack them in wall to wall. We'll have to make sure we have an area of the stage so they can't get and
For the
disrupt
cover
where
charge,
the...
5 gold is probably plenty because also don't forget they are going to be spending money once they get in here.
Hey,
Also,
you
on
make
the
money
baked
on the
goods,
alcohol and the food.
Yeah.
Tipping
Right.
Elias, you know,
Also, how much should I charge for the cookies? Do you think
more than you
5
charge
gold,
now.
10 gold a
A
cookie?
milk cow. We should
Well-
just
No, not a cookie.
Some fresh milk for the.
Not for a cookie.
Okay.
She says nobody will pay 5 gold for a cookie,
I
but
don't think so.
you charge a gold a cookie, 2 gold a cookie. That, especially for surface level cookies, probably 2 gold we can get for them. Now, if you make them out of the mushroom flour, you better
Yeah,
charge
no,
them
no,
in
no,
silver.
no.
Well,
So it's
they've
gonna
got a
be one.
Well, the mushroom flour tastes a lot like
Questions.
sawdust.
It's gonna be 2
Do
for the
Roths have
cinnamon and
milk
sugar.
butters?
Who?
The Roths.
Can you get milk from them?
I would believe so.
We can make
Y'all
all
need
butter.
fresh butter?
They've got
Fresh
butter.
butter.
They've got butter.
No,
Okay.
you don't understand.
Well, that's just made out of fat.
You don't understand what he's saying.
He's
No.
saying that he could use wild shape to get us milk anytime.
Well, if you need milk for cooking.
I know. No.
Right.
No.
Why don't you be a bowl instead?
I think milk from a bowl would taste funny.
I mean, they're on the lake.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
semen, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Polymorph you into a female.
No.
Then I'll milk you.
I'll eat ya.
You could also just use your summon
Satra
spell.
has decided to leave the building.
Oh,
so
wait,
cannot
bro,
have
where's
a
the fun in that?
conversation.
Yeah. What about your alchemy jug? Can you make milk?
You make mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, yeah,
Oh, you can have sandwiches.
I
Oh,
was
there we
gonna
go.
say, I already
And
have 4 gallons of beer.
Oh, true. She already has 4 gallons of beer.
That's like
And-
one table for 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Pretty
Well,
good.
And is that happening tonight? Is it happening tonight?
It's
Tomorrow
tomorrow
night.
night.
Tomorrow night. Okay, I can have another 4 gallons tomorrow night.
Mm.
And if you wanted to split that
Much
beer
better.
with like some other beer that you've made, and I have a gallon of wine as well.
What are we gonna call this party? The surface shindig or
Well,
the
something about
topside?
something about our legacy of great heroes and adventurers coming in there.
fundraising for the for Stonegate because it's been
Stonegate
devastating.
Saviors.
I really like the Into
Raising
Madness.
funds to rebuild Stonegate.
I think Into Madness
Yeah.
is really good.
Donate here.
Especially if we
yeah, we
get,
can put a donation box
Some
outside.
fresh
Yeah.
cow's milk
Mhm.
will really be descending into madness.
You know, we could use perhaps one of these aging potions to make like a fermented
Cheese.
milk.
Milk
Yeah.
cheese.
Ooh.
I need the right
Some
well.
blue cheese.
Yeah.
Some aged cheese.
That's right.
This cheese has been aged 12 years.
So you begin cooking, and you're working up the songs, working more on the Saga of Stonegate.
Mm-hmm.
You
I'm gonna
finish
prance around on my elk around town.
handing out flyers, I assume.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's gonna be doing the or whatever noise. Elk's making everybody's
Yeah, yeah.
attention. And
Is there something that y'all need me to do for this, or?
Look beautiful.
You can be the
Um,
bouncer.
Oh,
You're kind of
that's
an important
actually-
guy.
Well, I'm just talking about right now.
Oh,
Because
for
if
today?
not, then
You have
I'm
things
gonna
you
go
wanna do?
try to find some work.
Okay.
No, if you want to find something else to do, we are just gonna be bold up on making.
So you're gonna head out and look for. You guys begin cooking and preparing, and you're handing out flyers. There's a lot of interest as you're handing out the flyers. Now, understand it's still kind of early in the morning. You do notice that the way they tell time around here is they've got a big clock tower on the top of the artificers building that rings bells, and so they're on kind of a 24-hour day. And so at noon, the sound of the bells changes. They're not ringing 24 bells. So, the ones in the morning are kind of a deeper sound, and the ones in the afternoon are a tinnier sound until, midnight, and then they start back over again, of course. Lots of interest as you spend the next 2 or 3 hours handing out these flyers. People are asking where it is. A lot of people are saying, they're going to, oh, we haven't had a chance to actually really talk to people and hear about the surface world. This will be great. We'll have lots of fun. Oh, we haven't had a troupe of a bard in here. And have you ever had a bard in here? That kind of stuff. Or dancing animals? I hadn't heard. We had dancing animals. We haven't had dancing. We
I
haven't
have
had
my
dancing
elk stand on its back legs.
Yeah. So all kinds of cool stuff like that. You head out. What kind of work are you looking for?
Honestly, just manual labor.
Where are you going to check?
Well, I really wanted to ask, her name,
Elena?
Elena.
She says, well, you're a pretty strapping fellow. We do get a lot of the apprentices over in the Artificer Guild who, they use magic gauntlets to be able to lift things that are very, very heavy. But around the square, there is a gentleman who does blacksmithing. He could probably use some help there, even if it's nothing as unloading and loading some of the iron that he's working with or some of the other alloys. You could probably check with him.
Perfectly fine.
You head around the square, and eventually you hear the ringing of metal. Kind of step to one of the side streets and see that there is an open building with a glowing forge, and there's a man standing by it who is a dwarf.
Oh.
He is not one of the Inniskari. And he's standing there and he's pounding on stuff like that, and he sees you, and he kind of finishes what he's doing. He's got an apprentice who's one of the Inniskari, and he's kind of pumping the bellows, and he tells the guy to stop pumping it. And he turns around and he crosses his arms and he says, another one of us down here I can see. Can I help you? You looking for some good, dwarven iron work?
Good work, yes. Well, I'm going to be in town for a little while and just trying to see if there's something I can do in the spare time. Do you have need for some labor?
Are you a hand with a hammer and tongs on the blacksmithy?
No idea.
Unfortunately, no. I'm more of a woodworker. But
A woodworker.
so they're just.
He says, well, interestingly enough, we do have a gentleman who works in the Zirkwood, but he's a little further down on the docks. Look, and he gives you directions, and he says he works down there on the docks. Why don't you go talk to him? Especially if you've done any kind of woodwork, he could definitely use the help. So you head down, and if you look where the little water wheel is,
Yeah.
that's exactly where it is. And so you head down there, and sure enough, there's a barn that's got what looks like pieces of Zirkwood in it. He actually has a few pieces of wood that looks like it's maybe come from other things. You're not sure, but when you go in, you can hear the sound of the big saw going whirr as it's cutting stuff. You see that this guy's an Inniskari, and he's got two apprentices, a young man and a young woman, who are standing there with it. Now they're not wearing robes; they're wearing like what looks like this kind of thick cloth. It's black. So they're all wearing gloves, big leather gloves. Some of the gloves are actually reinforced, and so they're cutting stuff. And they finish cutting the board, and the guy turns around and dusts the sawdust off of me. And he turns around and he says, "Can I help you? Are you looking for some kind of furniture, or are we building you a shield, or what are that?"
So I'm actually looking for a bit of work if you got some time.
I do have some extra things that I need help with. We'll put you on the saw, cutting some of the logs for me, so I can keep an eye on to see how well you work on things, and then we'll talk price.
Fair enough.
I need you to make me a woodworking tool check. Let's do strength.
Right. Okay.
Since you're cutting boards. Yeah, if you were doing scroll work and stuff like that, we could do dex. But since you're cutting boards, let's do strength.
A non-natural 20.
Oh, nice. All right,
Nice.
so you get in there, you cut some boards, they're good and straight, and he says, you do have a fair hand for the boards. Look, this gives me a chance, frees me up to do some other things. Look, I can offer you 5 gold for the day.
That's fine.
And if you come back tomorrow, I could probably offer you another 5 gold, and then we'll talk from there.
Okay.
So you spend the day cutting boards. It's kind of nice to get back into the swing of what you did for a living. At the end of the day, you're pretty tired. It gets to 6 bells, and he says, all right, let's bank the waterworks so that it doesn't keep spinning the wheels. And he has the apprentices go back in there and grease the saw blades and stuff like that. And he hands you 5 gold and says, well, I'll see you tomorrow morning then. All right. The rest of you have been cooking all day long. You're exhausted, you're covered in flour, and you're covered in yeast, something like that. You've been experimenting you and Sartre have been experimenting with aging the wines and stuff like that. Elena actually says that not the wines, aging some of the beers so that they're like a little older. And
It wouldn't hurt to age the wine.
well, the beers, the nice thing about it, if you age them, it causes them to carbonate, and that's the big thing you've got to do. If you decide to do some kind of wine or something like that, Elena says, well, we could actually make some kind of, if you make a simple beer, we could probably turn it into something like a whiskey or a vodka or something like that. I do have some distillation things for when we want to get essences from different types of oils and waters and things.
Can I raid my herbs and see if there's anything spicy in it?
Sure, you could probably find some. You probably got some spicier spices.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him too. Do you guys have anything? We have this stuff called eggs.
Oh, we've got lots of types of eggs. We've got spider eggs, we've got snake eggs, we've got, dinosaur eggs. We've got a few velociraptor eggs. Those are reasonably easy to get. Velociraptors aren't terribly difficult. The other larger dinosaur eggs are a little more dangerous. Yeah, we got lots of eggs.
Ever eat the eggs?
Do what?
Do you ever eat the eggs?
All the time. We use them for cooking.
Okay. So could I see some of your smaller eggs?
So she goes into this little closet, and when she opens it, you can feel the cold air coming out of it.
Well,
Obviously a refrigerator.
if
And
you-
she opens it up, and she brings you this egg that looks it's about this big, and it's kind of speckled, and she hands it to you and says, Velociraptor. It's big.
All right, so I'm gonna crack it and put it into a giant bowl.
It's
what does it
all
look like?
shell. It's got little kidding. Okay. You crack
Shell
it. Looks like a
foraged.
normal egg, but it's really big. I mean, you could probably use one of these to make
Okay.
an entire batch of cookies or cakes. Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if we can make deviled velociraptor.
That sounds amazing.
You have
Yes.
to cut slices of it. It'd be like a velociraptor or deviled egg pie. It's what it would be
like
like.
a limited mini item that's like very expensive.
Did you take all the money or did you just do the 40?
It ended up only being 20 because she
20.
threw in 20.
Yeah, okay.
End of the day,
Wait, wait.
yes.
How much should my cookies sell for? I just don't know.
2 gold each.
how many cookies do you have?
Oh, I have
All of them.
If we're taking a day to bake.
110.
All right. So you get your cookies ready,
That will use
cooling.
up all
uh,
my.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure I hit the northeastern part of Sununu especially,
Okay.
so we could maybe catch the interest of a certain treasure hunter up there to come see the site.
Right. Give me a perception check. Okay.
Alright. I have advantage because of my shield.
Mm-hmm.
Instead
right, so
of the help action,
16.
the hinder action.
You're kind of looking around, riding through the northeast part of the town where the treasure hunter Tolliver is supposed to be. One particular building catches your eye. It doesn't have a sign out in front of it or anything like that, but it's dark. Most of the buildings have lights on them or that are lit. You're kind of like, yeah, it's dark underneath here, but this is the one building where there are no lights. And so you're kind of like, well, that's odd. He's either not there or... I don't know, he's sleeping still?
I'm going to mentally talk to my elk and tell him to do his trumpeting elk sound. And then I'm going to say, Edwin Tolliver! I'll try it one more time.
Still nothing.
Alright. Is it a 2-story building? 1-story building?
2-story building, yeah. It's nice. I mean, it's
Like
nice.
a little
to-
balcony out front?
No, it's just got windows up top.
I'll just try the door.
Okay.
I'll just go to the front door.
It is locked. But that's not a big deal for you as a rogue.
No answer?
No answer, no.
Oh yeah, I'm going to lock back in then.
Okay, give me a roll.
Alright.
Sleight o' hand.
Ugh, that's a 13. Jeez.
I'll still do it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, not a big deal.
I rolled.
You kind of reach over, click the lock, open it. Completely dark inside the house. You can see in the dark, yes.
Yeah.
Around the room, you see what looks like several chairs, a table, little tables along the side. It's very nicely decorated. And then there's a shelf over at the side, bookshelf over the side, full of books. All kinds of books. Towards the back, you can see another table and maybe what looks like an area to prepare food. And then there's a closed door off to the left.
I'm going to stealth.
Okay.
Just because. Nice that night, huh? 17.
Okay. You're stealthy.
And
Where are
I'm
you
gonna, I'm
headed?
gonna checking kind of for traps just in case.
All right. You don't see any.
And then I'm going to, I guess, try that door to the left.
All right. You try the door. It's unlocked. It leads to a stair that seems to go to the second floor.
And creep up the stairs.
Okay. What's your passive perception?
My passive
Mhm.
is a 13.
Okay. You begin heading up the stairs, and you hear a ping.
Okay. Is this like a check for traps situation?
Well, you think you may have set one off.
Set one off?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though I was actively looking for traps?
Yeah, but you didn't see this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll misty step 30 feet ahead of me then.
Okay. Right. You're on the landing outside the door that I guess maybe leads to the upstairs hall, upstairs bedroom, whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing seems to have happened.
Okay. I guess I'm going to keep searching the premises then.
Okay.
Very stealthy.
Through the door. Opening the door, you see that this entire upstairs, that looks like the bathroom, maybe towards the back. The door's open. You can see that it's got, a latrine and looks like some running water where you can wash up. And there's a bed over to the side. And as soon as you open the door, the thing you smell is the smell of dead. Okay. And so you walk up onto, you kind of turn the corner to see, and there's one of these white-skinned people lying in bed underneath the covers, and it looks like he's been dead for a couple days.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna investigate the cause, maybe? Like slashing, foaming at the mouth, what's going on?
Yeah, you go
here?
over it and you see that his eyes are rolled out back in his head. He looks like he died badly. It looks like he was either scared, maybe he was something like that. Maybe there was a mental attack to him. You do not see any cuts or wounds on him with a cursory glance. So whatever.
Is he still locked in a frightened state?
Yeah, he does look like that. His eyes are kind of doing this. Yeah, it looks kind of bad.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna check his person.
Well, he's in pajamas. He's lying in bed in pajamas. Yeah. You do notice over on the bedside table there's a book.
Okay. I guess if it looks important, I'll kind of read over a little bit, flip some pages maybe.
Open it up. It's got lots of drawings. If you remember Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, and you remember how Dr. Jones had this leather book with all of his notes on where the Holy Grail was, that's what this book is. You notice all kinds of notes on different traps and ways to defeat them, different civilizations and things like that, the way their typical traps were laid out and the way they would set them up. I mean, this guy was obviously an archaeologist, but he was also a treasure hunter. You notice notes in the margin about how when he found such and such place in this temple, he was able to remove it by this way, and it was a golden statue, or it was a big diamond, or things like that. This guy goes out and finds lost, objects. Most of the stuff it seems like he gets is not magical. Most of it's just kind of, gold, diamond, collector stuff, or, just worth a lot of money, which is probably how he afforded the house. Goes through. You're kind of flipping through here. You realize this thing's got probably a couple hundred pages. I mean, it's thick. And it's got, a little rubber band around it, and some of the pages fold out. I mean, there's tons of information. So you're not going to be able to really look through it very quickly. I mean, it's going to take probably a couple days to go through everything.
Anything else of interest?
Towards the back, you notice that there's a drawing of this big gemstone with kind of light coming out of it, and some notes about the tomb where it was kept, and he says there's a crack in the wall that I'll be able to get in through. I'll have to make sure I get rope, blah blah blah, make steel spikes to get in there. And then there's not a whole lot of writing because most of the journal
kind of earmark this page.
Yeah, most of the journal entries have dates, on them and stuff like that. Then there's a week goes by, and you notice that he's not drawing pictures anymore. Instead, he's writing things like, she appeared to me when I was in the tomb. She keeps appearing to me in my bedroom. I see her out in the streets. I'm terrified. I think she's followed me home. I hope I didn't bring her back to Sununu. And then it's things like this, she's haunting my dreams. I can't get a good night's sleep. I started taking some mushrooms to help you sleep better, but even when I'm sleeping under the influence of these mushrooms, she still haunts my dreams. She's coming for me. I think she wants the topaz that I took from her tomb, or maybe she is the topaz. And gradually the handwriting gets more, scraggly and stuff like that. And then at one point he says, "Oh my God, I think she's here," and it tapers off, and that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna induce my inner thief and kind of think of, if I were going to hide a diamond, or not a diamond, a yellow topaz, where would I hide it? And kind of look for secret doors or false floors or anything like that.
Give me an investigation check.
I'm really good at that. So.
Good. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just gonna be all on the roll of the die, which we know how I roll.
Do you have inspiration?
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't think we have any inspiration yet.
I got a 10.
Underneath the bed, there's what looks like a little strong box. You notice that there's a bookshelf. Yeah, there's a bookshelf, and you notice there's what looks like a little coffer there that's maybe small. There's also books on the bookshelf. There's also a dresser, and then there's a wardrobe where there might be clothes. You kind of flip through there quickly, and you don't really see anything. In the back of the wardrobe, there's also a small wooden box too. So you got 3 different boxes.
Okay. I guess I'll try to open each box.
They're all locked.
I'll lock them, but I
Okay.
do want to check them to make sure there's not a pull it up and explodes or something.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Let's see. Oh, nice. That'll be a 30.
Okay.
Well, not a 30, 24, sorry.
Okay.
I was lock picking.
Yeah. The strong box under the bed does not seem to be trapped. Okay. You gonna open it? Or try and lockpick it?
Yeah, I'll try to lock.
Don't have. I mean, you're not really worried about time, so I'm not gonna make you roll for it.
Okay.
You just kind of spend some time working on it. Maybe 5-10 minutes, and you pop the lock, open it up. Inside, you notice this must have been like his petty cash. You see that there looks like about 100 gold pieces, and then also what looks like 50 platinum pieces. Okay, because remember, platinum is kind of the coin of the realm here.
Oh,
So a bit of money. All right.
Man, I got some conflicting things going on inside right now.
Oh.
I'll close the box.
Can't take it with him.
Yeah. He's already. It's not really robbing if he's
Dead. That's really more an inheritance, right?
Yeah. It's a bit of a will.
Right. And he might have bequeathed it to you.
I'm
You could write one up that says so.
a deputy, which is part of the government. The government must seize the assets.
It's taxes. There you go.
We'll make sure he has a good burial.
Inheritance tax, right?
Yeah.
Defense of the realm.
Right.
A savior.
Well, now there's
Savior
true.
of the world.
This is true.
Savior of the world.
So you grab the little box, kind of, probably put it into one of the bags at your belt or into your backpack. The second box, the one that was on the shelf, is another little box, a little wider, a little longer. Do you want to open it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Check it for traps.
Yes.
Give me a roll.
Most definitely. So that's gonna be a 21.
Oh yeah. This one seems to have a little needle trap in it where if you start locking it, so you're able to kind of reach in there and lift the top just a tiny bit and cut the little, line that's going to make the needle swing out and get you. So now you want to open it?
Yeah.
Okay. You pick the lock after a couple minutes, open it up. Inside, this is a little velvet lined case. Inside there's what looks like daggers. Very pretty, ornate silver blades, nice wooden handles.
Is there anything special about elven make, dwarven make?
They're nice ones. They're
They're
very
very
nice.
nice.
They're ornate.
Nice.
They're carved. Yeah.
If
You might
take
want to
one out,
identify or
roll
something
across
like
the tongue,
that.
yeah, probably
Oh
fine.
yeah, I should definitely do that. Yeah, I guess I'll take them out. Are they in the pouch? You said.
Well, they're in a little velvet lined box. That's what it is. Yeah.
I'll take the box to me and stash it somewhere
Okay.
as well.
And the last one, give me a perception check again.
All right. This is when I roll low. Another 21.
Okay.
That shield.
This one, you notice that the lock is magically closed. Okay. And you also notice that what looks like some kind of glyphs on it, which seems to be that if you don't dispel the glyphs, they're gonna do whatever magic-y thing they do. And then also you won't be able to open the lock unless you can have some kind of spell that can do it.
Do I maybe remember something in this book? Just when I briefly looked through it that could tie to this, maybe disarm me?
Not that you know of.
Okay, I'll just bring it back to our casters and artificer. I'll stash that. I'm gonna leave like 2 platinum and 20 of the gold coins back in his little retirement box thing,
Right.
just to make it look like I didn't rob it when I report the crime.
All right. So you do that, but you're taking the daggers and stuff like.
Oh yeah, I'm taking everything else. Yeah, they don't know. Yeah, and then I guess I'll go find the nearest guard on my majestic elk and track somebody down to report.
So you find one of the guards who is out there. You actually don't see any guards, really. You're kind of looking around going, the only guard you've actually seen is Captain Bartlow.
I guess I'll ask around for him. Where's Captain Bartlow at?
He normally stays down on the docks, looking, to make sure nobody's attacking from there. Head back down to the docks where probably you guys were. And sure enough, after about 30, 45 minutes of looking for him, you do see him out on one of the docks. He looks like he's got some kind of weird object up to his eye, and he's looking around. And as you come up towards him, he puts it up and puts it into his bag, and he turns around and says, "Yes, one of the service dwellers. What can I do for you?"
Well, I've got some bad news for you. Tolliver?
Edwin Tolliver, the treasure hunter. Yes.
It seems he may have died at some point recently.
Oh, no. But what happened? Any idea?
I'm not sure. I noticed the place was suspiciously dark and there wasn't any movement, so I took it upon myself as a righteous man who upholds the law
Right.
to investigate, make sure he was okay.
Deception check.
Deception? No, I was
Okay.
actually investigating.
All right. Performance check or persuasion. Persuasion check. I'll let you choose which one.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, broken that man's house.
I'm a cop.
I'll let you. Persuasion then.
I'm a guard.
Persuasion. Yeah.
For the world?
Oh, there we go. That's gonna be 23.
Did you see any signs that anybody broken in, or maybe he'd been attacked, or anything like that? I mean, we don't have that kind of problem around here, really.
It was quite weird, actually. I'm pretty sure I set off a trap that was to alarm him of intruders. When I got to his room, he was just in this terrible manner of being frightened to death or something. And then in his book, and I'll show him like the last few pages of she's here, she's hunting me or something. Yeah.
That's very
This is
odd.
the last thing he wrote.
It's very odd that there was someone after him, and he says, that's very strange. You didn't happen to find, he kind of looks at it curiously, you didn't happen to find the yellow topaz that he was talking about, or see any signs of entry, maybe of some woman who killed him or scared him or something like that?
I did not, but I did find this chest, and I'll only show him the one with the arcane lock on it.
Right.
And I've taken it into custody to investigate the rest of this murder and see what we can
He says,
find.
well, good work. Let me know what you find about it,
If that's okay with you, unless you'd like to take
no,
over.
of course.
You're a busy man, it seems.
Well, again, he's the only cop in town. Everybody else is building stuff,
Yeah.
And he says, no. Take a look at it. Just keep me apprised of what you find. I'll get someone to take care of the body then. Thank you for letting me know. We appreciate it. And so
He did seem like he had a chest in there. Maybe I think there was some coin for his funeral rites or something. But that's
Okay.
all.
We'll probably have to use that to
You want to roll
bury
deception
him.
now?
We'll have to send him home to bury. He does have a family. Not many, but so we'll send them there. So yeah, I'll take care of it.
It's a very
And so
unfortunate state of affairs.
Yeah.
I'll put my best people on it.
Yeah. Okay. And he heads off to where Tobias's house, or Edwin Tobias's house is, and you head back to the inn?
Yeah, I guess I'm back to the end.
Okay.
Get over there.
Yeah, so this takes most of the day. You come kind of strolling in towards the late afternoon. You guys are exhausted. You're exhausted. You just you probably meet him at the door coming in covered. You're a little covered in sawdust, but it's a good kind of covered in sawdust. You've just finished the Saga of Stonegate, the next verse, so you're ready to actually perform it tomorrow night. You've also worked up some dancing animal routines, yes?
yeah.
Okay, all right. Your snake is going to get in on the action, I guess, so there we go.
I like it, yeah. I'll even get like a little flute or something.
Elena's been helping cooking things, and you all head out into the common room around 6 o'clock. Of course, she's had the place closed all day. Several people have come to the door and said, hey, are you serving lunch? And she's like, no, we're getting ready for the big Stonegate benefit
Where's the charge?
Heroes
party
Descent Gala.
tomorrow. So yeah, make sure you're here. Oh yeah, I got one of those flyers from the guy on the big elk. And so yeah, the guy wanders off. So you sit down. Elena brings out some cold cuts and some of the bread that tastes a lot like sawdust because it's made from the mushroom flour. And she also puts tankards of ale out all around. And she says, all right, well then,
This is the
it's been a
same
busy day. Huh?
This is the same day?
Same day, yeah.
Okay.
She says, it's been a busy day then. We'll have to get everything finished up and ready for tomorrow evening. I think there's a bit of a buzz around the town about it. I think we're going to be able to make a bit of money. Look, we need to talk about how we're splitting this money we make from it. Because while I own the place, you all are working very, very hard to bring people in. So what are we thinking here? I'm thinking 50-50?
I mean,
We'll let our
60-40?
60-40.
Well, I couldn't take 60 from you. That's just, you guys are working
No,
far too
I'm thinking we'll get the 60 and you get the 40.
Yeah. So
Uh,
there's 6 of us.
all right, I'll do that as long as we take my expenses and your expenses out first. What's left over, we'll split 60-40. That's fine.
60-40 of the profits.
Right. Because I did have to lay out, 50 gold for the potions, and some of the food is going to cost a little bit.
Yeah,
So
of
yeah,
course.
we'll take care of the expenses, and then what's
absolutely.
left, we'll do 60-40. That's fine.
And my loot cost, 100. And,
You don't have to pay me for my ingredients.
No. We gotta make this right.
Yes,
Gotta make
yes.
this right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very important.
All right.
And gather around. We'll
Oh,
go to
wait.
bed. I've got something to discuss with
Before
everybody.
we leave, I want to do something.
We're not doing anything. We're staying down there looking at the box he's got.
Or did you want to do it in our
Well,
room or
we
down in the
can
town?
do it in private, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Upstairs.
There's something
then.
to discuss.
Yeah.
Am I
Did you
right?
have something before we go?
Yeah, I have like a little sampler plate
Mm.
of one of each item, and I've cut it into like little tiny pieces because I want everybody to try it and see what they
Give
think.
me a cooking check.
No,
Okay.
roll. Okay.
You got this.
Since I've been helping her all day, can I give her the help action on this? Since
Yeah.
we've been
So she
tag
gets
teaming?
advantage. Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
you'll get advantage. On
Yeah.
this.
Since I was making dancing animal sounds all day,
yeah.
Double
possibly
advantage.
distracting her.
That's
Yeah.
disadvantage. Yeah.
So it's a straight
So
roll.
now you're straight roll. Yeah. Hope you have inspiration.
Can I offer the hinder action?
I give her bardic inspiration.
Yeah, there you go.
This
Is it a
I've been
D?
playing-
Is it a D6 or D8 now? I think it's D8 now or something like that. Yeah. Ooh, what'd you get?
Oh, that was terrible.
Well,
You have advantage. So roll again and take the higher of the two.
With the 8.
Ooh, 18.
And a D8. Put a D8 on there.
Roll a
Go ahead,
D8.
use it.
You gotta use it.
We're about to take a long rest.
Yeah,
Back
exactly.
tomorrow.
It's flashing. It's flashy. It's flashy. Ooh.
Pretty
Ooh. That's
good.
a 6 on
Yeah,
top of the
the
18,
six.
so that's a 24 plus whatever.
Probably plus your
24
proficiency.
plus.
So that'd be like 3.
Yeah, 3. So that'd be 27.
And I think it's probably in. What did we decide cooking was? Is it? Do you get a stat bonus onto it as well?
It is whatever you
I-
want it to be. If
Let's
you
make it
want
in-
it to be.
Let's make it intelligence. Yeah. Because
Okay.
artificers normally use intelligence for stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So that's plus 5.
Okay.
So your total
All right.
is like.
The food that
30
she has
30
made
something.
is amazing. It's incredible. I mean, she's been working, huh?
But I'm going to tell you what first, you're going to start off with the deviled egg dip.
As soon as I try the deviled egg dip, I go, she's with us.
Yeah, you pretty much do because it's just that good.
And then the next thing, you're going to get just a spoonful of the mushroom risotto.
It's really good.
She leads us.
From the, from the
Yeah.
barrel mushroom.
Yeah.
Crazy water
She's the
too.
captain now.
And then
Look at me.
you're not going to try the cookies because you've had my cookies before.
Yeah, you're right.
And then you're going to have a small cup of beef broth soup with mushroom pepper noodles.
Except it's actually T-Rex.
Yeah.
Soup, yeah.
T-Rex broth.
That's right. But you know, they're really good marbling in their haunches. Where
Did I
she
mention
is.
the T-Rex steaks?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're going to be like T-Rex steak tips.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know, like medallion. So,
Mm.
there you go.
All right. The food is incredible. You all eat it, and Elena's like, "Oh my gosh, I don't think I've eaten. Can you stay?" You know, she's. I know you've got to save the world, but good God, we could use a cook, and we
We've
could.
got to leave this town before they poach our.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I mean, we could probably defend you from She Who Rises. You know, we've got really good weapons. Well, oh gosh, oh well. She says this is going to be a really big hit.
I think we should look. I think that once we save the world and we are able to come back through this era, we could talk about franchising.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes,
Brilliant.
I'm all
ideas.
for trading. I
Mm,
will.
This is the trial run.
Yeah.
When we go off and when on our way back, we come through here, throw another party, it'll be even bigger than this.
You're gonna open a franchise of
The
the
video-
Sark
the
This is
down
about
here.
to be. This is about to be a.
My food
like
is
a
of higher
monthly
quality.
event.
Whenever they try this food, everybody's gonna want to start being cooks.
Yeah, that's
It's gonna be
right.
done for.
That's right.
Oh,
You're gonna ruin the city.
We're all gonna be cooks. Nobody's building anything anymore.
We
We're
could
just
just
gonna make
open
food.
up a culinary school here.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
how many days did it take us to get here?
About a week actually, a little while. Yeah, it's a little bit.
I could easily start a supply.
But you could probably find your way back down here.
But would
I
like
mean,
to,
you do have a map if
have
you
a map
remember. You
now,
did
yeah.
buy a map. So you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got donated to us by
Well, no, it was a one platinum piece.
Oh, that's
Just
right. We did.
We
buy
have
it.
plans.
Some, what's the golden tankard's lady name again?
Elena.
Elena.
Yeah.
Elena.
She's like, oh, this is amazing. We are going to make so much money tomorrow. Let me tell you what. This is amazing. Well, I'm exhausted. I'm going to bed. Look, we'll clean up in the morning. And she heads off to one of the doors that's on the bottom floor. You get the idea that that's where she lives, possibly. And so she heads in there, closes the door. Now, you guys are in the common room by yourselves.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're by ourselves.
All right, so what are you going to do?
I'm gonna make one more check, look around, make sure no one's watching us.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be.
And all right, I found Tolliver. He's dead.
Oh!
Looks like some frightful attack. Somebody scared him to death, maybe.
Scared him to death.
Well, if you look here, and I open up the
Probably she who
page, and I
rises.
show the topaz, and then I show the
Oh.
lines about he's being stalked in his dreams.
Oh, that's not good.
And there's this box. I can open many things, but I don't fuck with magic. And so I put it on the little table or whatever,
Yeah.
and show them the box, the arcane lock, and stuff.
Yeah, it has an arcane lock on it. Looks like you're gonna need some kind of knock spell or something like that, or a dispel magic.
I
Or
dispel magic.
all right. Interestingly enough, when you do that, there's also some glyphs on
I pass the journal off to Arlen.
it. So you hear tick as the thing clicks open, and then the glyphs fade into non-existence. So yeah, you can open it. Inside, you notice that it's again a little velvet-lined box as well. You see over on the right-hand side that there's little places for what looks like gems and maybe like rings and gold and or like amulets, like a jewelry box where you would put stuff. They are all completely empty. You also notice that there is a little inset place where you could put like a larger stone, maybe something almost the size of your fist, which is huge for a gemstone. It is empty as well.
So the topaz was in here, but
So it was looted but locked?
Yeah.
What a weirdo.
Detect magic. Make sure there's nothing, no other
Like
magic
illusory?
things.
What if it's
Yeah.
invisible?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be. No. Now, the brace of 5 daggers, though, that
Oh,
you
yeah,
picked up do glow.
I was like, well, I did see this, and
Mhm.
there's daggers.
Yeah.
Would you care anybody to identify these? See if they're
They all 3 glow.
they glow.
Well,
Magical.
To me.
Because he,
Oh, because
he did
to me,
detect
detect
magic.
yeah.
Yeah, he sees them all 3 glowing.
Alright.
And actually, they're actually on a little bracer, and the bracer
Like a
itself,
bracer.
like you would put on your brace on your forearm like this, or I guess you probably put on your
Easy
forearm,
ball.
right? Yeah. Yeah. Actually, the bracer glows as well. Yeah. Identify anything?
I don't have it.
Is
Um,
identify
I
a ritual
touch.
spell or is it a
Can be done as a ritual spell,
So
but
we
you have
can-
to. You have to prepare
so
it.
you
though.
can just do a. Oh, you have to
either
prepare
he
it?
or I can?
I
Oh,
don't
we
have-
do
I don't
have to
have
prepare it.
I don't have.
I don't have
detect
prepared
magic.
either.
I don't have
Okay.
identify that.
No,
You could do it tomorrow, or can I just do an Arcana check on it to see if I get a general
Sure.
vibe?
You could do that too as a bard. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because of art?
He's a bard.
Oh.
Bards know that kind of
Yeah, they
stuff.
like history and tales and magic weapons.
I'm gonna use.
Nope.
I'm gonna use
I got
Nice tail
inspiration.
though.
Not this tail.
Oh, you got-
Oh,
Yeah,
wait. I can give inspiration now.
Oh yeah, your flash of genius.
Oh, that's right. Flash of
Yes,
Genius. You
I
can get somebody
do it
plus 5.
times a day, so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, that'd be 13.
Yeah.
I got 13 with the
No, I mean like, what's your bonus for?
5.
Okay, same. So it'd be the same either way.
Can I roll for it
Do you
with
have
my
Arcana?
intelligence?
Do you have Arcana? Well, you can do an intelligence
See if I
check.
have Arcana.
You are not a fisher, so.
We should be.
Yeah. You are an artificial, that's
Oh, I do
true.
have Arcana.
Make a Arcana check. And you can give yourself plus 5. No, I've never heard anything of these. I
It's
don't know
a
what they
D20,
are.
right?
Yeah, huh? Just D20, yeah.
You have plus
Arcana
5, so
actually
you actually have
plus
plus 10. She's 21 at dirty.
So, 21. Yeah.
Okay. So you look at it and you recognize the dagger as something you've seen made before. That the one dagger is more like a stabbing dagger, and it's on the bottom, and the other 2 daggers are these thin little, stiletto-like daggers, and they're on top. And so what would happen is you could, draw the stiletto daggers and throw them, and the one underneath would be easy enough to draw and stabby people.
Mm.
The dagger is a dagger of warning.
Ooh.
If you don't know what that does, you have advantage on initiative rolls. In addition, any of your companions within 30 feet of you can't be surprised, or you,
Wow.
except when
Nice.
incapacitated or other than non-magical sleep. The weapon magically awakens you and your companions within range if you are sleeping naturally when combat begins.
Oh, that's
Is
nice.
that passive ability?
Yeah.
It's almost like an alarm.
Now, it
Or
does
alert-
require
alert.
attunement.
Alert.
The
Still, nice.
2 daggers, on the other hand, are what's known as a bracer of flying dagger. This armband appears to have thin daggers strapped to it. As an action, you can pull up to 2 magic daggers from the bracer and immediately hurl them, making a ranged attack with each dagger. A dagger vanishes if you don't hurl it right away, and the dagger disappears right after they hit or miss. The bracer never runs out of daggers. So you can throw daggers all day long, and they will always be 2 in the bracer. So you can throw daggers, and then the dagger warns you, which, those are probably good things for a treasure hunter to have.
So someone in the city or
Wow. That means if somebody snuck up on him to try to steal it, he would have woke up anyways.
how fresh do you suppose that body was that you discovered?
It was pretty smelly. I'm no
So
doctor or nurse or anything, but it was pretty smelly.
Do we recall when we spoke to anyone in town how long ago it was anyone saw him?
Elena had seen him. She said he'd been there in a couple weeks before, but he had gone out looking for this topaz that he was talking about.
It's very unlikely that whoever has it is still in town.
Could be.
I am gonna touch where the gems are
Mhm.
and see if I just fill divots or if I actually fill anything substantial.
No, this obviously was full of gemstones and jewelry at some point,
Whoever opened it.
but whoever opened it took it and then
You
locked
think
it
it was
back
probably just
and
a
trapped
mundane
it.
person that? Oh, but it's not hard. A regular person, like a regular
Oh.
thief, could just trap it, right? I
Well, no,
doesn't
this
it-
was a magical trap. So whoever did this had to have been someone who's magically active, either a mage or a
But
sorcerer.
Why would they magically trap it if they
Um,
took everything out of it?
So Offreal gave me the journal
Maybe.
to look over,
Mhm.
and I
He hid 'em somewhere else.
investigated for any
It's a diversion. That is true.
murmurings
Maybe he hid
of
him somewhere else, and then he had the box.
anyone he may have spoken to, or
If you were looking for it.
Well, it's full of notes about all the different places that he's kind of gone treasure hunting for, and it's gonna take you probably several days to go through it because there's drawings and arrows and stuff like that. And there's actually there's a ton of information in there. The big thing he points out to you is that towards the end, after he supposedly went to get the topaz, because all the journal entries are numbered and dated and stuff like that, there's about a week gap when he comes back to town and starts talking about seeing her, the blonde-haired woman, the woman who's glowing, the golden woman who's after him, and she's following him around town. He sees her in his dreams, and he's just getting kind of real paranoid and freaked out. He tries to take mushrooms to go to sleep and still can't sleep because she's appearing in his dreams, even when he's practically unconscious with this narcotic he's taking. And then, oh my God, she's in the bedroom with me. She's here, and it kind of scribbles off, and that's all you see.
you said it's numbered and dated.
Yeah,
So when relative to now, when is the date of the last entry?
about a week ago.
A week ago.
Yeah.
All right,
We
so
could go.
that gives us our TOD.
Before we head to bed, we could go back and take a tour of the place, if you'd like.
It wouldn't hurt to just give it
Yeah,
to
you know where it
people
is.
I can lead you right there.
with more eyes.
Yeah, because,
box.
like we were saying.
I
A
like
second
capable
perception
of
sometimes is
detecting
good.
magic
Yes, we've been
information.
good for an hour.
Okay,
There you
so
go.
if we hurry, we can still use them.
All right, hop on! And I jump in my elk.
Whee! All right, so you all head back to
So the short people in the antlers
Edwin.
or whatever, the big...
yeah.
Yeah.
I just ride on Colt, except he hasn't transformed into an animal, so it's just me, a regular sized person.
That's
on
it.
That's what I
top.
have. Yeah.
Just piggyback.
Like that day I tried to give you a piggyback ride in high school. Yeah.
All right, so you head back to the place.
Mhm.
Of course, the door's unlocked. You do notice that when you go upstairs, that the body is missing. It looks like maybe
Oh.
he's already come in and said
Regards,
he's
Detective talked to Captain,
got to get. Yeah,
what's his face?
Hunter.
Bartlow.
Bartlow.
Bartlow, and
Yeah.
he said that he was going to send somebody to collect his effects and such.
Mhm. But anyway, so you kind of look around. If you are looking for anything in particular, give me a perception check. Okay. If you're trying to do something like look for secret doors or false bottoms, that's
Yeah.
that's investigation.
I still detect magic up. Does anything,
Oh, okay, cool.
Anything glow for me or anything?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yet being the operative term.
Now, I do say the front door was locked, which I unlocked, and when I came up the stairs, I set up some kind of trap, but nothing happened. So
You
I
know
can only
what,
assume it's an alarming trap to let him know somebody's in the house.
You know what?
So whoever did this,
set it off. We make it follow the mechanism.
yeah, I'll I guess trace back to where I heard the
Okay.
noise and.
Anybody checking the downstairs first?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't see any magic items down in the downstairs. If you're looking for hidden rooms, hidden things like that, that's investigation. If you're just kind of looking around, cursory glance, looking for things, that's perception.
I'll stay on the bottom floor and do the
Perception check.
investigation part of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna investigate.
You're just kind of looking around, seeing if anything
Yeah, I'm looking for-
stands out.
I'm looking for
That's
like
stuff that-
hidden doors.
Gotcha, gotcha.
God, well, no, I'm not.
I'm gonna go upstairs and do the
That's how I felt
perception
when I
check.
did that.
Just glance around for anything out of place.
Oh, yeah.
Replace.
I got a 16.
Perception.
Okay.
All right.
So you begin looking around downstairs, Jody, looking for secret doors. You don't see any secret doors or loose boards or any hidden compartments downstairs.
Okay.
Anybody else doing a perception check downstairs or anything like that?
I did, but I only got 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's
I
same here.
Yeah.
got a 14, and I am specifically looking for signs that someone rolled the place.
Okay. You,
Wait till you check up.
what'd you get for your?
14.
You don't see any signs of it. There's no, footprints in the dust, or it doesn't look like anything was broken, or a window was broken, or anything like that. Looks like if somebody came in, they may have not have come in through the bottom floor, or if they did, they were really, really sneaky. Yeah. What about you two guys are going upstairs? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 25 on perception.
Okay. You find the little wire that he broke, and as you follow it up to the room up there, you do realize it's attached to like a bell. Interesting thing about it, it's a little bell that's on the wall. The bell is actually packed with cloth.
Mm.
Because you didn't hear the bell. I just heard ting.
That's
Trip
it.
wire. I didn't hear the bell.
Right, and you're doing perception, you said?
Yeah, I did
Okay.
perception.
You look around the room, don't see anything that looks out of place, though you do notice that one of the windows is slightly open. So whoever came in may have come in through the top floor.
Somebody may have climbed through this window here. You see
Oh,
this?
I didn't see that when they came through.
No,
They're
that's
focused on the
pretty
treasure.
Pretty sneaky.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Did you make a
we're
roll?
broke.
Did you make a roll?
No, because I've already done it before.
Right.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
if-
What are the rest of you doing? You're downstairs. You looked around, haven't seen anything coming upstairs?
I'm going
All right.
upstairs.
When you get upstairs, there's your detect magic sense starts going off. Okay. There is a glow coming from underneath the bed. Looks like something is glowing underneath one of the floorboards. And there's also a glow. Looks like there's a bag kind of stuffed behind one of the dressers. It's far enough back that you wouldn't see it unless you had detect magic. So, walking by it, you're not going to see anything because it's way back there. And it's actually kind of partially underneath the dresser. It looks like it may have fallen back there and he'd forgotten about it or something like that. You're not sure.
Pull it up.
Okay. You have to move the dresser, right? Pull the bag out. The bag, it has some kind of weird set of, I don't know, it feels like there's pieces of wood in it and some stuff like that. You can open it.
Yep.
It's a set of bagpipes.
Ew.
And they are
great.
glowing.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh. That's
A set of
amazing.
bagpipes.
Every morning.
Okay.
Good thing I'm proficient at that.
Do you want to take identify? You don't have identify.
I don't have identified. So
All right, I'll go ahead and let you tell you what it is because you can do it. These are known as the bagpipes of the Mad Bard. Okay.
The mad bard.
Though actually, he may not be the one who's mad. Everybody else around him.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
another story. Yeah. Bagpipes of the Mad Bard.
Oh, we know how this party's about to go.
Yeah, right. One time per day, you can cast Calm Emotion,
Oh.
Sleep,
Mm.
Cause Fear.
Mm.
It's kind of appropriate.
I mean,
Oh, and then Protection from Evil or Good.
Ooh.
It's cool too.
Okay.
Oh, those are nice.
All for free?
Yep, one time a day.
Nice.
At 5th through 8th level, this is one of those.
Oh,
And
you're at 5th
fifth-
level, so.
Yeah, at 5th through 8th level, one time per day, you can cast Otto's Irresistible Dance
Ooh. He's gonna do that to me during the party.
and Tasha's
To your
Uncontrollable Laughter. Just one time per day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Quick
invisibility.
Ooh.
That's
Okay.
nice too.
Interesting thing about Otto's,
Nice.
Otto's is a 6th level spell.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's kind of a bad one, too. Choose one creature you see within range. Target wins a comic dance in place, shuffling, tapping its feet. The dancing creature must use all of its movement to the dance without leaving its space and has disadvantage on dex saving throws and attack rolls. While the target is affected by the spell, other creatures have advantage on attack. As an action, a dancing creature makes a wisdom saving throw to regain control of it. Yeah,
Wow.
It's kind of funny.
That's really cool.
That's
Mhm.
Just people start dancing. Well, one person starts dancing, that's right.
So it's
And
not
you get
a dance.
advantage on them too.
Yeah, that's right.
That's really nice.
I can't stop dancing. Just seemed appropriate for bagpipes. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you
You
go.
don't want to dance? Well, you're gonna dance.
All right. Yeah. Now, what about under the thing underneath
Yep,
the
floorboards.
floorboards? All right. You find an area of the floorboards that you can kind of pull up. You open the the floorboards, and basically there's what looks like a sword in a scabbard sitting underneath there. And you figure he probably wasn't proficient with sword, and so that's why he stored it into the floorboards until he could find somebody to maybe buy it or something like that.
So you're like digging around under a floorboard, under the bed?
Yes.
I mean,
Can I just move the bed?
Yes, you can. You pick up the bed and move it off of me. Now it's much better.
I mean, I appreciate that.
The blade on the sword is black. The metal of it. It's a black color, almost like it seems to drink in the light.
That sword's great.
That sounds
I
dangerous.
mean,
The sword is known as a 9 live stealer. You gain a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls. Oh, by the way, it is a longsword. It has 9 charges right now. If you score a critical hit against a creature that has fewer than 100 hit points, it must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or be slain instantly. However, it does not recharge, so you can only do it 9 times.
so who wants that? Because I mean,
It's longsword. Yeah, who uses longsword? Anybody?
Because I have to use
I do, but
You got a sword.
You got a sword.
Yeah.
I just may have to start dual wielding. I don't know.
I don't
you got
have
rapier?
a sword.
This man's
I
a-
can
I've got my
probably use
dagger of
swords because it's a
souls
martial weapon, right?
Is longsword a martial weapon?
it is.
Yeah, so you can use it because you're not able. You can only use simple weapons.
Oh, okay.
Anybody want to do anything else in the house?
I guess, do we want to invest, since we found everything so far, do we want to
As
investigate?
far, well, you found everything that you can tell.
Holt has found this window that's been cracked open. Maybe the assailant came in through there. Potentially, we could make tracks. It's been a week-old tracks, but I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yes, if we find something. Wait, didn't you say that the bell was packed with fabric of some kind?
Right.
Well, we made this mistake before, but presuming that the person who did this stuffed the alarm, the scent may be on it, and so it's perhaps something you could use for tracking.
I could turn into a snippy boy.
For something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, before we go, I would like to raid this treasure hunter's house to replenish our dungeon packs with rope.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of. Yeah. Now that being said, there's plenty of ropes, iron spikes, 10-foot poles. Of course, you get that covered.
I'm just assuming this
yeah.
guy's house is like a trove of like
Yeah.
dungeon delving stuff.
Right.
So
There's
just
one of the
wanna kinda, like,
closets. There's probably dry tack, hard tack and rations
stuff
in one
these
corner.
artificers
Yeah.
are not going to need in this
No,
town.
no, this is stuff he would need when he was diving deep into the earth to
Right.
find stuff. Yeah. Alrighty. So yeah, you're able to definitely get rope and things like that pretty easily. What else were you doing in this house? You're gonna pull a rag out and you were gonna turn into a sniffy boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that'll be a great idea. I'll turn into.
Give me a perception check, and since you're a sniffy boy, do you get a plus something?
I believe they have advantage. Let me
Yeah.
check the animal. Yeah, the wolf has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely
Ah.
on hearing or smell.
Okay, go for it.
But advantage. Because
Yeah.
that was a natural one.
Oh, ooh, ow. Now you're gonna
Can
get
I
natural
give him
20, so we're gonna hit the
inspiration?
gamut. Huh?
Or no, is inspiration after their roll?
No,
You
you
want
can
the
do
flash
it.
of genius?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to give me a flash of genius?
Yeah, I was
Okay,
gonna say
so
I
give
could
it a plus
him
5
flash of genius.
You're gonna need it.
So 12.
with the plus 5.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're not sure you smell anything that you know.
Colin,
Yeah.
I think you're somehow affecting his rolls. Did you touch his dice, perhaps?
No.
Anybody want to give him
I
inspiration?
mean, Ariel.
I don't think
I have inspiration if you wanna go again.
You're the
I
inspiration.
mean, that's up to you.
Go
I
for it.
have to sing that every
Wait,
time.
shouldn't the bard? Can't the bard sing for him?
You have advantage on your inspiration roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you have advantage on your inspiration roll, so you get to roll 2 dice.
Hey, yeah.
It's a reroll.
Mark inspiration, so plus a
Okay,
D8.
that's better. That's better.
All
Alright,
right.
you go there.
Let me get this D8 right here.
13.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, 24.
All right.
Yeah. Well, if I have a flash of that, then 29.
You smell, and then you're kind of going, okay, I've smelled this before. I've smelled this before. Where have I smelled this before? It's been a while. It's Olma.
Oh.
Olma?
The cloth is something that was obviously close to Olma.
Oh shit! Wait.
The carpenter's
Except
I know
daughter.
nothing until he lets us know.
True.
Yeah.
So one by one, I telepathically communicate, but I can't openly communicate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, this rag belongs to Alma. This rag belongs. Oh, did you hear that, guys? This rag, it's Alma's.
And then I telepathically communicate to my elk. This rag is almost.
And the elk goes.
I communicate to your snake. But the rag is Alma's. So does the scent possibly seem like it would
just
lead
for
me
scent?
there, or is it just right here in this?
As
Lead
you
me somewhere.
follow the scent, it goes over to the window,
Mm.
out the window, and that's where you lose it, unfortunately.
I'm just wandering
From the
around
window
downstairs,
to the
wondering
wall.
where the rag
You've
is.
probably
And
come
then off
upstairs,
space.
honestly. You've probably come
Think so?
upstairs, yeah.
Okay.
Alma wanted it.
So
Other
you
guy.
just want to say that Olma wasn't doing her own thing and never
Well,
really
we
was
watched
kidnapped.
her get. We watched
Yes.
her get.
Yeah, we saw her get kidnapped.
Yeah, the dude had her
Vanished.
I
like.
guess it's
Now
good.
she could be whatever brainwashed now. That y'all, I'm just thinking this inside my wolf head. Y'all don't hear me saying this.
Yeah.
Anybody got to speak with animals?
Yeah.
Yeah, but only for snakes.
You tell them about it being Olma's rag or what?
Yeah.
Okay. You actually notice that what it is, it's a handkerchief that actually has the monogram of the carpenter on one of the corners. Yeah. You do notice that the scent, as you look out the window, is completely gone. However she went out the window, she didn't climb down the side.
Yeah.
You know, if Alma was like a particularly stealthy kid.
She was always very nice to you. She helped her mom around the house, cooking and stuff like that. From what you remember, she was a nice girl.
I'm just
What's
there
the
thinking,
largest
I
thing
want to say that we've asked a couple people here if they've seen that. You
They
know.
said they did.
Yeah, we mentioned Alma.
Yeah,
So
you did. Yeah.
if she's here, she's
But I mean, we're
she's doing the
She's
bidding
not
of her
here
master.
anymore.
If you know what I'm saying.
We know at this point
You never know what
that
could
this
happen.
happened over a week ago, so it's entirely possible she is nowhere near here anymore.
that was over a week ago.
The last
Yeah.
entry in Televis Journal was a week
He was
ago.
scared to death.
And
Does that mean that she killed him? Bad gun. That's pretty crazy.
That sounds like it. Or somebody who had her effects.
well, I mean,
Killed
you
her.
know how
Could she
everyone
be-
that we have run into
Has
has
she been controlled?
absolutely, because I mean, everyone that we have run into some
just
form
happen to
of
leave
brainwashing or
handkerchief?
another.
Well, maybe
I'm not
whoever
sure.
was
It's
is
this-
working with her or using her. I mean, she might have just had stuff
She
laying
blew her
around
nose
and then.
then
Well, that was
she's
it.
not a
That
master
is the reason
criminal.
why I asked told
I mean, it's a
um,
carpenter's daughter.
I've been saying that shake for 3
It's
hours
like,
now.
So we thought.
Bum, bum,
Yes.
bum.
I'm not a master
She's
criminal
shooting Bryce's
either, but
daughter.
I'm pretty sure that would leave.
Turns out Death Row was the father.
it's yeah. Well, that was my initial thought as well, because
Wait, that was
he
your
said
initial thought?
well, because I asked you if that was the only scent on there, but
Oh.
it's entirely possible whoever
Yeah, this.
put this in here does not have a scent. You know, they
Yeah,
could be.
the only one you got off of the handkerchief was her. But of course, if it was sitting in her pocket, though, that's really all that you're going to smell is going to be her.
At least we know that whoever did this is connected to whoever took Alma.
So what time is it now?
It's night. It's you're tired. You've worked all day. Remember,
Yeah,
this
I
is
know,
the day
I'm
you've been prepping.
Yeah. So all
So
right.
you're tired.
I'm going to bed.
All right. So you head back to the Golden Tankard. Head up to your rooms. Bed down for the night. You've got whoever has
Stay there for
the dagger of warning. You're within 30 feet of the rest of the party, pretty much. And so you sleep pretty peacefully. Remember that there is no sunlight to wake you up in the morning. So pretty quietly, you get up early and start cooking again.
My natural clock, because I wake at 3 every day.
Pretty soon after you go in there and start cooking, Elena comes out and starts helping you prep things and things like that. She, starts getting glasses cleaned, different things like that, shining up the bar and the tables, oil on the tables, oil on the bar. So the rest of the day you spend getting things ready for the party, yes. And you're working at the carpenter's. Are you going to knock off early and come to the party?
I guess so. Yeah,
Okay.
that would make more sense.
Actually, the carpenter says you're going to knock off early and go to the party because he's going to the party. and you start to realize that this has got a bit of buzz around it. There's a lot. You're thinking that probably everybody in the town may wind up showing up at this thing. Yeah, they may need a bouncer on the door with a turtleneck and a one gold chain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Alina in the bar?
Yes, absolutely. She's in the kitchen actually working with Sartre.
I would like to go in there and just ask her a quick question.
Mm.
So when I see her, I'm gonna go, hey, Alina, I was gonna ask you, where do you source your velociraptor eggs from?
Some of the local boys like to go out and kill velociraptors. They're pretty good shots with their lightning guns, and so they're an easy kill.
Okay, I was just wondering. I didn't know if y'all had any in the area or something.
Well, we've got lots of little caves that are off of the lake, and so some of them they have to go kind of far. Killing the velociraptors means you don't get eggs from there next time. So a lot of times what they'll do is take some of the invisibility potions or things like that and use that to sneak in and steal the eggs. That's the way we prefer to do it. But, it's just different things like that.
I was just curious. I would love to see a velociraptor for no particular reason.
Well, the next time they go out for velociraptor eggs, I can make sure you get to tag along. You should. They're a little bit dangerous if you get too close to them.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind. I would love the adventure.
Well, it's like
All
I
right.
was counting on it.
Yeah. I'm not sure what CR they are.
They're low enough. I already
He's
done
one of
there.
Nice.
We'll have to look at you and go, clever boy, all the time. You know that, right?
Right.
You spend a good part of the day, you're handing out more flyers. There aren't many people who need flyers. Everybody is, oh yeah, I'm going to be there. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there.
Can't wait to see you.
Oh, it's going to be a great time. We can't wait. We don't get a lot of traveling bards or food from
Or
a
saviors.
Well, that is true. That is true. Or music or dancing or trained animals. I hear there's going to be trained animals and tricks, water balloons. What? You're like, and you can tell that the telling has gradually
The
grown.
telephone,
Yeah, it's going to be a huge deal. And I heard there's going to be clowns.
Mm-hmm. Yas says there's one riding an elk right now.
Oh wow! Oh, that's so funny one. I can't wait to be there. Anyway, so you spent a couple hours.
One
and
less
then,
person is coming.
yeah. I hate clowns. So you go around and you actually don't hand out very many flyers today. You're out for about an hour or two, and people are like, "No, I'm going to be there. I don't need a flyer. I've got one. I got one right here," and stuff like that. Several people come by the golden tankard and say, "Hey, can we come in early tonight? Make sure we get a good seat." And Elena's like, "No, everybody comes in at the same time. We'll have you queued up outside, and we'll get you coming inside as quickly as we can. We do have a limit to how many people can be in here."
I'm going to, before the festivities kick off, trade out my elk. I'm going to cast my Find Steed spell again.
Mm-hmm.
It takes about 10 minutes. I'm going to get my Mastiff and then hook like a plate full of like drinks to him. So like a little Mastiff I can communicate with him. He's intelligent for beasts.
Right.
As the spell goes. And so he can like bring drinks to people's
Okay.
tables.
So how does are they?
Make me
how
a
are they
brewing
gonna-
check, by the way. Okay.
Are
Let's.
they going to come into the place to get the dishes from the
You'll have to pay for
place
them.
and then go out to eat them?
Well, actually, Elena is starting to set up tables outside as well, so that people can eat outside and be inside where the music is.
I guess I'm
and that
asking,
kind
will she have servers to like?
No,
She's got
that's
one.
that's it. There are no servers. That's
dog.
going to be a problem. And the dog. What's your brewing check?
So I rolled an 18 on the dice, but I'm trying
Ooh.
to find my.
Oh, you're fine. Okay.
Okay.
The beer has turned out good. The few of the fruit juices that you fermented have turned out good as well. You got some nice kind of fruit wines and things along those lines. The fire water that you've tried to make in the kitchen is fire water. It doesn't have a whole lot of flavor except alcohol, but it is good. And you can definitely use it to, make mixed drinks with like berry juice or whatever stuff you want to use.
Can I talk to? What's her name again?
Elena?
Elena.
Mm-hmm.
So
What do you want to talk to her
I'm
about?
gonna ask her if does she have some people in town that could carry dishes to tables?
Well, you see, the problem is that everybody wants to be a bleeding artificer or an alchemist. So no, everybody wants to come here and enjoy the festivities. If we're gonna have servers, it's gonna have to be you and me. And I don't know if your friends are wanting to chip in.
I'm a pretty experienced barmaid.
Yes, you are.
No, that's true.
Yeah. Elena says she'll work the bar and take the money, and you can help her too if you want. I mean.
Yeah. Well,
But
I
she's
just really wanted to have the dishes out so they could see what they look like.
Well, actually,
That
she
was
started. She started
interesting.
making. Actually, she started making a listing of the different foods that you've made and with prices beside them and stuff like that.
Okay.
The prices are in the gold piece range. You know,
Yes,
if you.
yes.
So the
Okay.
stew is like 5 gold pieces, stuff like that. It's pretty expensive, but again, it's surface food. So you don't get that kind of stuff down
Well,
here.
then I'm gonna trust her with her whatever
Yeah.
she set up, and I'll keep the food coming.
I want to make an ice sculpture.
Okay.
Ooh.
Shouldn't be hard to do.
Like that we can pour shooters down.
Oh, that's cool. You can definitely
It's
do
got like
that.
a
Um,
little slope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely do that. Sure.
And I'll make it kind of steampunk themed with like gears and stuff on it, kind of thing.
So, 6 bells rolls around, which is when you're supposed to start.
Oh.
And as you get stuff kind of settled inside, all the decorations up, you've got your loot tuned up, or you can use your new bagpipes.
Yeah, we use both.
All right. You get them all set up and ready to go.
Different parts of the song.
Yeah.
There's a little area over the side.
It's a one-man
There's not really a
orchestra.
stage. It's just kind of a corner that you're going to use because they don't get very many bards. And so you're all in there. You've got your trained animals. You're coming back from the carpentry. You probably had just enough time to go inside and get cleaned up. And you're already in there. You notice as you kind of look out the windows that it looks like people have already started lining up. That basically Elena has put out what looks like about 10, 15 tables, 2 or 3 chairs to each table. People can sit at the tables all they want, but getting inside, she's going to kind of limit how many people can come in. She's got 15, 20 tables out there, and people start to show up and start to sit at these tables. And they start asking, when is the food going to be ready? When is the music going to start? And she's 6 bells. We're going to start at 6 bells sharp. Not before. If you want to come inside, you can come inside, but there is a cover charge. It's going to cost you 5 gold to come in through the door. We do have food. Now, we can bring the food out here. And she brings out, the menus and stuff like that. Every once in a while you see somebody kind of raise their eyebrows at the prices, but she goes, this is surface food. You're never going to have a chance to try this again unless you go to the surface.
This
Kind
is
of goes on.
Satra's.
Satra's surface food.
By 5:30, all the tables are full.
No.
Okay, which means you've got probably 50 people out there already.
I guess I'll go be a server.
And so they're all kind of sitting.
What our
Huh?
pre-show
Our
while
snake
we're
part.
waiting on the event to happen,
Take a
just to
break.
keep people entertained.
Do we need a dancing water, dancing animals? What are we talking about?
I was gonna do. I was just gonna kind of combine a few of my cantripy type spells to just do like a magical version of like a cocktail style, just prepping some pre-shooters, just to
Yeah,
the
put
people-
dancing lights over it.
Oh,
okay. Just a prelude to the main event kind of thing.
Let's see, how many of the,
Performance check. You can give her advantage. Okay,
how
since
many
you're
of
helping
the
her.
inspirations? Did I use all of them?
I think we're out of inspiration at this point.
This is the next day, so
Yeah.
you've got your flash and genius back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do
So I'm
also,
giving her Flash of Genius.
while she's doing this, I'm
What's
gonna
Flash of Genius?
have some surface.
Is it
I have
What's
Druidcraft,
that?
the spell, and I can make some the sounds of leaves falling and stuff like that for people who've never heard that sort of stuff as being underground. So I'm gonna and smells of the surface. I can make it smell like grass or whatever. And then,
Cool.
so I'm gonna cast Druidcraft around the room a little bit and
Oh, I
have
got
some
Very nice.
the sounds
Cool.
of the
Get some
surface.
ambiance going.
Just as our pre-show, he's
Well, you've
he's
got
still
the
preparing. He's tuning his
illusion.
flute or
We're
whatever.
setting
Yeah,
you
I
up
do
for
too.
success.
You could make
Yeah.
trees and falling
So,
leaves with
I
your
rolled
illusion
a
spell.
27
Oh,
on my
yeah.
little cocktail.
All right.
Flipping
So can I
bottle
keep
or-
that illusion up while I'm cooking?
No, I think it takes. Well, I mean, you can. It's concentration, but you probably wouldn't want to do it while you're cooking. You probably want
Right.
to take a break, do your illusion, and then go back to
I was
cooking.
gonna
Right.
say.
So okay, you do the ambiance. You're doing the water show, and you're throwing illusions up to make people see what trees look like and stuff like that. There's lots of oohs and ahs going on out there, and a crowd begins to gather around, just standing around. It looks like you've probably got 100 people outside. You're not sure there's many more people in the town than that. Okay, I mean, there's probably 150, maybe 200 people there, but you got at least 100
Not
people out
bad
there.
for our inaugural.
No,
event.
not bad at all. You're thinking we could get tons of money here. All right, anyway, so you're kind of and so
Blaze, are you feeling the pressure yet?
you're,
No, never.
lots of tips and stuff are coming out there. People are handing gold pieces to you. They start to 6 o'clock rolls around and start to buy the food. It is hopping. People are buying drinks. They're doing all kinds of stuff.
Offering trays.
Things like that, and people start clamoring for when they can get inside. Elena steps to the door and she sees you, and she says, "You guard the door for me. Make sure they pay you 5 gold when they come in." And then she steps behind the bar. You stand in the doorway. You're a pretty big guy. People start coming to basically everybody gives you a platinum piece, okay, and they're wanting change.
Surface sundries.
So when Elena sees this,
nice.
she reaches under the counter, hands you what looks like a strong box. She sets the strong box on the bar and says, "Here, you can make change with it." There's probably, you're not sure how much gold, but it's a good bit, and a good bit of silver in there too, and a little bit of platinum. So you start making change, greeting people in. People are coming in, sitting at the long trestle table, ordering food. the place fills up. There is not a single place for people to sit inside. And the inn itself seems like it would probably hold around 40, maybe 50 people, and they're squeezing in there. You think you've probably got maybe 10 or 20 other people standing around the edge of the room. And there's still probably 50 or 60 people outside sitting at the tables and things like that. You are running and serving. Elena is running and serving. Once you get all the places filled and pretty much all the edges of the walls that are people can lean against full, what are you going to do?
Me specifically?
Yeah. I mean, if you let more people in, they're going to get kind of, there's not going to have anywhere to really be.
Oh, that's great. I'll just shut the door.
All right. You reach over, shut the door. You have taken in probably 300 gold pieces. You gonna start off?
Yep.
All
Are
right.
there any like windows for the people outside to be able to see in it?
Yeah, there are. There
Okay.
are. They can at least hear the music. And Elena goes around and opens all the windows. Several people kind of go up to the window and just look. You start playing.
Yep.
All right. Give me a performance check.
All right.
This is kind of what you do.
So 21.
All right.
Nice.
You go into the first song of your set. You notice that a couple people get up and start kind of dancing. There's a little bit of room to dance, but not a whole lot. A couple people get up and dancing. There's a lot of cheering. Nobody knows the song, of course, so there's not really a whole lot of singing along until you get to one that's kind of a little simpler, and the chorus is easy enough to remember, and they kind of sing along with you. You notice that most of the people here are actually pretty good singers. And there's a lot of toe tapping and tapping on the table. Drinks are being sold all around, lots of cookies. Within about the first 30 minutes, the cookies are gone. The muffins are taking a little longer to sell because they're a little bigger. People take longer to eat them. The stew is going out. All of the food is going out. You play for about an hour and then decide to take a break. Several people, nobody's left yet. The food's going, drinks are going. Are you still outside waiting on tables outside?
I'm waiting on tables wherever tables need to be waited.
Okay,
and,
there's probably
and,
somebody needs to be outside.
running the bar.
I can do the stuff outside then.
Okay, you can run food out there.
I mean, I can help also until
The dancing animal show?
we need to have the dancing animal show. Very
Alright.
important.
All right, so after an hour, you decide to do the dancing animal show while the bard takes a break.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, and so you do the dancing animal shows. I'm going to need you to make me a persuasion check, because that's what you need to do.
I'm gonna give you.
Flash of Genius?
Thank
Flash
you.
of Genius,
Flash of
yeah.
Genius. That's my second Flash of Genius for the day.
Hey, that's a pretty good roll.
Okay, I'm not mad at it. My persuasion's +3, and then plus a flash of genius, so a 23.
All right. What animals are you using, by the way?
It depends. I cast conjure animals, and I summon 8 animals. That's up to you to decide what
Yeah.
animals.
Giant I'm kidding. Nobody wants to see
God.
centipedes.
Oh, God.
Nobody wants to see giant centipedes. No.
It could be, you know.
Badgers and weasels.
Ooh,
You
I'm down
have
with
these
it.
little badgers and little weasels, badgers with little short legs and the pointy noses, and they kind of sit up on their haunches, and they're kind of ornery, so you get disadvantage when you're. I'm kidding, but you're able to get them, convince them, and then the weasels are kind of climbing up. They're standing up, they're knocking balls out of the air, they're leaping onto people's tables and stuff like that, and dancing, and everybody at the end of about 15, 20 minutes of that, the animals are getting kind of tired, you're going to need another roll. And you kind of send them on their merry way, and everybody applauds. Lots of gold being clinked out on the floor to you for, tips and things like that. And so you take about a 15-minute break, and then the bard's going to be back up again. You got a 30-minute break. So you launch into another set of rousing tavern tunes that you've heard from up there. They're pretty simple. People start singing along a little bit because the choruses are easy. Things get pretty rowdy. Yeah.
I send the scent of pine sap through the crowd.
Oh, okay. Everybody's pretty excited. You've run out of stew.
Hey, it's gonna happen.
You've run out of stew. Stew's gone. Stew is the most popular. A lot of people are not sure about the Velociraptor egg dip, but once they taste it, word starts to get around. And by another 30 minutes or so, the egg dip is gone.
What about the T-Rex medallions?
Those are a little more expensive, and so they haven't sold out yet. You finish your second set. It's about 7:30, 8 bells, somewhere in there. You decide to take another break, and who's up next for the entertainment in the middle?
Am I entertaining?
You gotta tell the story of awesomeness.
Yeah, I guess we'll do a story time then.
Okay.
Well,
Performance check. Let's do performance
but
check.
hey,
Yeah,
if I'm done cooking, can I
There you go.
do illusions to go along with the
You got
story?
Absolutely. You get
I believe
advantage.
in you.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
You get advantage as well because she's doing illusions to
I'm
help.
gonna do illusions.
And I'm going to
about.
give him a
Since
burning
I'm not-
inspiration and also just to warm up the crowd and
Right.
make them.
You kind of give them a little crescendo going
Yeah,
into
yeah, I
it.
got you.
So,
Give them a little background music.
Background,
Like
yeah.
whenever he gets to the
Yeah,
pause in
yeah.
the story, you're like,
It's my parents. Yeah. Make your roll for performance, but you do have advantage because she's using illusions. So yeah.
I'm a dex paladin. I don't weigh much.
You got advantage though.
Oh, I did.
You
Thank
got
God.
advantage,
I
yeah.
got a
Advantage.
nat one.
It's like that one.
Woo.
God,
It's not a nat
see,
one.
It's,
No,
well,
it's
it
not a nat
ain't
one.
great though, and I'm doing performance,
Yeah.
but flash of genius.
Yeah.
That's 5.
Or did you just give me? Okay, so
Yeah.
She gets 5 of those.
11.
I have
Might as well
one
use it.
left.
plus 3 is 14.
That's not bad.
Plus performance, which is another 3, so 17.
Well, that's not bad. All right, so you
Okay.
tell the story about the Saga of Stonegate and the invasion from the things below the ground. And sure enough, you muddle the story every once in a while, but you keep it moving quickly so you hope nobody notices. And when you get to the part where the noble sheep that you rode in is dead and killed by the orcs, and you fall over it, there's not a dry eye in the house. Several of the young children go over it and pet the sheep, and they're so upset. And
I wasn't expecting that.
one of the little girls goes,
Comes with
"Oh my
petting
God,
zoo."
he's dead!" And it's great. So,
So
yeah.
I guess the sheep, you're gonna comfort them, like bang at them softly.
No, I'm gonna still act dead.
He's acting dead, yeah. Yeah, so
I comforted them kids.
yeah, they gotta learn. You finish the story in about 20 minutes. People start ordering the medallions because you don't have a whole lot of other stuff besides the medallions and maybe a few of the vegetables that go with them. It's around 8:30, somewhere in there. You go in for your third set. This is the shortest set. It's only about 30 minutes long, but it's the entire Saga of Stonegate story. And so you launch into this story, and it's this long, bardic, epic drama. And you're switching between all the different musical instruments and things like that. And it goes on and on for 30 minutes. And at the end, you talk about, how you've gone to save the world. And and everybody leaps to their feet and applause and stuff like that. I do need a performance check.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But you got this.
Sounds good.
What was it? I can read.
Looks like a 57.
I'm going to give you an inspiration if you want.
All right. Well, was re-roll?
Do you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
light up dice?
Hey, much better than.
Much better than
Yeah. The other one's not looking so
16 plus so 23.
Everybody leaps to their feet and applauding, and even you notice that Elena is clapping from behind the
I'm
bar.
even tearing up after
Yeah.
the story.
And so everybody finishes, and Elena says, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed your show. We still have a few medallions of steak spice for the surface world here. If you'd like to buy them, that's all we've got left right now. We're out of everything else. But if you're still hungry, we've got a few of those." People begin to leave.
And beer.
And beer. But a few people hang around drinking beer. You notice a lot of people who are on the outside of the pub who never got in actually work their way in, and nobody's charging for them because the show's over. They order a few beers, a few of the medallions. Night goes on.
I'll run
Serve with a flourish so they kind of get like a little bit
Yeah.
of experience.
I'll still give them the scents and smells.
I'll run
Surface.
around and give more story stuff to the people who hadn't
Right, gotcha.
actually inside, and I'll kind of talk them
Gotcha.
up and
Cool.
how was the show, whatever.
Could I take I had a gallon of wine. Could I throw
Some
some
babies
like
for
my
kids and-
Yeah.
leftover
Some baby
spices,
foreheads
like
and kiss
mulled
one.
wine spices,
Well,
and make a mulled
I mean,
wine and serve it to
You
them?
are completely out of
Amount of
spices.
spices.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
you guys have run through your spices from the
Never mind.
surface world. They are gone. I mean,
Just-
there is
just autograph
everything
my
you brought
babies.
with you. Now you can make
Autographs and such.
more possibly from
Yeah,
your
no,
alchemy
I-
jug, but that's it. All the spices are gone.
Nope.
10:30 rolls around, and the golden tankard closes its doors. Everybody heads home. Elena you're all exhausted, and Elena says, "Oh my goodness, I'll get the tables and fold them up in the morning, and stack the chairs and put them underneath. Oh my goodness."
I just whip out my mage hand and start going ahead.
Oh, you start doing it. Okay. The tables, she tells you, the tables break down, and so, she shows you how to fold them up. Same thing with the chairs, and then they go in this little storage room that's actually underneath. So you put it in there and everything like that. You come in, and you sit at the table, and she comes over with that the bottle from the first night. When she was talking to you, she brought a little bottle of something and poured it into a glass and was sitting there drinking when she was talking with you. Puts glasses all around, and she pours everybody a little snootful of it. And she says, "This I brought from my homeland. I hope you enjoy it." And it's this deep brown liquor, and you take a taste of it, and it's really nice and rich and smooth, and tastes a lot like probably pecan pie.
Ooh.
And so it's really, really nice and sweet. And so you sit there and sip it. And
sounds
before you know it,
Yeah.
before you know it, she's done another round, and before you know it, a third round, and the bottle's empty. And she says, "Well, I'll have to get some more next time I go home. But look, this was a really good evening. I think we made a lot of money. Whew, I am exhausted. I'll count the money in the morning, and we'll divvy it up then, if that's okay with you."
That's fine.
I
That
think
sounds
I'm probably
great.
snoring in a corner
Yeah,
somewhere.
she takes the money box
White
where
cat.
and the money box she's actually had to empty it into a locked chest in her bedroom a couple times, and so she takes the money box, whatever's in there now, and she heads back to the bedroom. She says, "I'll see you in the morning. I don't know what breakfast is going to be, but we'll figure it out then." And so she heads in. You hear her close and lock the door.
We'll
And off she goes.
probably whip up some sort of breakfast hash out of all the leftovers.
There was no leftovers.
Oh, there was
Yeah,
no
no,
leftovers?
everything
Out
was
of
gone.
everything.
Even the steak medallions were
I didn't even have my
Yeah.
little last bit of spices.
So everybody heads up to bed.
Worth it.
All right,
though.
you
Look at this
Yes.
money.
crash
Awesome.
hard, tired.
I think I'm gonna
Oh.
climb onto Jethro's back and have him carry me to my room.
Yeah. You wake up early the next morning, a little tired, but pretty well rested. Come downstairs. Elena has just come out. Her hair's still messed up. She's still in her robe. She says, "Oh, whew, I have not slept that well in a long time. Look, let me see what I can find back here." She goes back in there, and you hear what sounds like the stove and sizzling going on and some things like that. And then she comes out with wooden plates for all of you, and in the middle of the plate is what looks like a fried egg.
Nice.
And then she
Okay.
says, "I did this with the leftover steaks." And so she hands you a little medallion of steak on each one, because there's like one. And then she pours you another round of ale, and she says, "All right then. So last night I counted up all the money. I've got some good news.
Ooh.
Really good news. We took in 500 platinum.
Wow.
So expenses, once we worked out what they were about 20 platinum. So that means we've got about 480 platinum left, which ironically, let's see, we're doing 40, 60, 288 divided by 6. So you each get 48 platinum. Now remember, that's 480 gold.
Well, that was a good idea.
Yep.
We can do that more often.
Mm-hmm. And she says, "If you come back through ever, we'll do it again. Maybe not anytime soon, because we did take a lot of money in last night, but next time you're through, bring more spices, bring more food. We will definitely do it again. We ought to take this on the road." Whew.
Right? With the saving the world stuff.
Yeah, right? Yeah, we'll just make money. Well, till
How about we
the world
just,
dies.
Yeah,
Yeah, till the
yeah.
world ends, and then it's, money doesn't
After
mean
we
anything.
save the world, though, we should definitely look into like starting our own festival.
Just a
Festivus.
traveling festival.
Festival. And it is 6:43. We're going to stop right there for tonight.
Sounds good.
Hey, thanks for tuning in for the Saga of Stonegate. If you enjoyed our intro music, it's by a group called Overburden, and the song is Round 2, which seemed kind of appropriate since it's our second podcast involving RPGs. If you enjoyed our podcast and would like to support us, head on over to Patreon and look for Mike the GM. We have several different tiers of support, and one of them actually gives you access to our battle maps, and the highest level tier gives you the battle maps and my Game Master notes. So check us out.